Yo. Oh man, the one they've been waiting for. All right, so tonight we got a special show. Tonight I will be joined by A63 Seminole, representing FSU, Florida State. So if you guys have been around the channel, you should know who this guy is. Make sure you go like and subscribe to his channel also. But tonight we got a show for you guys, comparing Florida State, Miami, breaking it down, going through the histories, keys to victory and stuff like that. But without further ado, let me go ahead and bring my guy on. He's in the back and he's ready. Pope, what's going on with you?
What's up, man?
What's going on, man? I know it's been a eventful week, man. Miami's going into this game, 3-game win streak. Coastal's on the line. Only way to survive is to win. For you guys, I know the implications is bowl eligibility. You got 3 games left. You got 3 wins, so you got to win out. Miami versus Florida State, not quite what it used to be, but nonetheless, it's what we got. Miami coming into this thing at 5-4, terrible record. The kids are playing pretty decent lately, so credit to Tyler Van Dyke, looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the ACC and possibly the state of Florida. But tonight we're gonna give you guys a show, breakdown. We're gonna get involved with the chat and everything like that. So let's get into this. I did bring up the ESPN predictors and stuff like that. It is going Miami favor and everything like that. So how you feeling tonight, man?
Man, can y'all hear me? I sound like. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
My audio sounds a little weird, but I'm chilling, man. I'm feeling good.
Okay, so how you feeling about them Seminoles this year, man? Give us a quick summary. Basically, get us caught up to date with the Seminoles this season.
Man, don't nobody care about this season. We care about this game.
It's been that bad.
We care about this game. But this season has been, I don't even know how to explain it. Up and down. I'll say that. It's been up and down.
All right, so we can run through this real quick. This ESPN thing, they do this for every game and everything, whatever. Miami 5-4, Seminoles 3-6, Miami 3-2 in the conference, Seminoles 2-4. Similar records a little bit, but more towards the favor of Miami. Matchup predictor, 61%, call it 62, I always round up. 62% Miami, 38 Florida State. So you also have the leaders in, stat departments. Tyler Van Dyke, 124 attempts. I'm sorry, 124 complete, 195 attempts. Now he do have 1,877 yards, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions so far. I think that's within 5-game range, so he's doing pretty good. Actually coming up, he could possibly try to challenge your boy Jameis Winston's record for five straight games with 300 and something yards and 3 touchdowns a game. So if you could have that performance against Florida State, I'm pretty sure he could be able to get it done against Virginia Tech and possibly, go over the top and beat Duke. But, these things you got to watch them week in and week out. Y'all quarterback, Jordan Travis, 66 completion, 105 attempts, 812 yards, 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Rushing wise, you got Jalen Knighton, 102 carries, 461 yards, 5 touchdowns. Similar carries for your guy Corbin, 747 yards, 6 touchdowns. So he's leading, Florida State leading that department. But keep in consideration that Jalen Knighton was out for 4 games this season due to suspension. Not going to get into that.
How many yards per carry does Knighton have?
Right now he has 400 and
no yards per carry.
You do the math, he'll probably around 4.5 yards a carry.
Okay.
if you do the math. Also, Charleston Rambo leading in receptions, 58 for 860 yards, only 5 touchdowns. Helton, I'm sorry, Keyshawn Helton, 18 receptions, 276, 2 touchdowns. If I'm not mistaken, that's y'all number one quarterback. So, not quarterback, receiver. I'm not sure why his numbers are so low, but maybe it's because you guys run the ball a lot more than you pass.
Well, look at our quarterback.
Which one?
Good point.
Oh man. Okay, so going into this game, Miami's only a 2.5 point favorite. Yeah, 2.5 point favorite. Over and under is sitting at 61. So, and we can run through the team stats real quick. Then we can get into the conversation. See the chat's already got going. Um, yeah. Just what up to everybody in the chat. Let's run through this real quick, and then we'll, come over there and talk to you guys in a little bit.
Man,
Points
CJ,
per
what you
game.
talking about?
Points per game right now. Miami's averaging 32 and call it 33.
Yeah.
Florida State is at 28. Points allowed, Miami 30. Florida State 27. So similar in that department also. Look pretty even. Total yards though, Miami leads. Passing, Miami lead. Rushing, Florida State lead. Total yards and everything like that, Miami lead, but not by far. It's pretty close. So stats wise, pretty close. Last 5 games, last 3 they won. We won 3 straight. The first 2 ACC game we played, lost those. Both games lost by 2 or 3 points. Lost to Virginia by 2, lost to North Carolina by 3. Florida State, on the other hand, they're on a 2-game losing streak right now. Lost to Clemson by 10. Actually, could have been 4, but the last
Probably,
play.
yeah.
And then lost to North Carolina State by 14. The other 3 was all wins. So, all right. So So weather-wise, if you're going to make that trip to Tallahassee, they're saying it's going to be looking around 65 degrees. This is a 3:30 game, so probably be done good round in the 8 o'clock range or something like that. Maybe before that, maybe around 7:30ish if it goes as planned. So yeah, there we go. We all caught up with everything now. Coastal wise, Miami at 3rd, so this game is huge. If Florida State were to win this game, they basically would ruin Miami's chance of saying anything in the Coastal. Miami would be eliminated from that contingent, whatever. And then Atlantic side, similar thing for Clemson. Florida State is out of that race as of now. Wake Forest only has 3 games.
That don't make no sense.
What do you mean?
Wake should have a loss in the conference, but for some reason they don't count that as a loss.
No, that game was a fuller game. So basically, they gave them
a conference game.
It was but it was considered a non-conference, so that's why they didn't get it.
That's stupid.
They chose the right one to lose.
Right.
All right, so keys to victory, man. What you think Florida State got to do to get a dub at Doak Cam Stadium?
We just got to do what we do well, man, and that's run. You got to run the ball. Y'all have a problem with tackling for whatever reason.
Yeah, that seemed to be our dilemma at the beginning of the year, but it's starting to get together. There's still some missed tackles out there.
I mean, Georgia Tech kept that game within striking distance, and they really just utilized their running backs, running and receiving.
Yeah, the main problem we had with Georgia Tech was turnovers. Those 3 costly fumbles, what basically kept Georgia Tech in the game, because they had 14 points off of turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Without that, it could be a whole different story. We could have possibly blew them out. We jumped off 14-0 and then, slowed down. That's another thing too. Play calling, Reed Lashley. I just don't get it with him. We'll run the ball up the middle like 30 times a game. So hopefully you don't come with that against Florida State. I do understand that you guys have a good D-line, not so well offensive line, but your D-line is incredible. what's his name? Jermaine Johnson, total freak. I think somebody on my last show on Sunday actually tried to play him down. It was like, nah, that dude's an absolute freak. I mean, I'm not a Florida State fan, but at the same time,
Miami fan tried to play him down.
No. Who was the dude? It wasn't a Miami fan. It was I forgot who it was, but it wasn't a Miami fan. But that dude is an absolute freak. Anybody that can judge talent can clearly see whether or not you bias for a team or not. Jermaine Johnson will be a problem, so he must be contained, or it might be a long night. So
I just think we got to run the ball, man, and then defensively, just the D line. If that D line can get home and make it hard for TVD, which I told Miami fans, y'all had a quarterback. Y'all ain't want to listen to me, but y'all finally found you a quarterback.
We got two.
Well, we'll see what happens with Garcia in the future. Y'all still counting on that Garcia stuff. You might want to stick with what you know work. You still ain't seen Garcia in a college game. Might want to stick with what y'all know work.
Speaking of him, with Trevor Purdy departing in Florida having all their dilemma, I'm already hearing the talks and speculations of you guys might actually come after Jake Garcia if Tyler Van Dyke continue doing what he's doing and basically beating his daughter.
Unless he hit the portal, I don't see
that's,
reason
that's,
to even.
That's the
no reason to even entertain it. Now, if Garcia hit the portal, then all bets would be off. But I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay, so what's going on with the inconsistency with your guys' run game? Because clearly, running the ball is your best option. The pass pretty much haven't been there, and
so I don't think the running game is inconsistent. I think I'll say this: the coaching staff, for whatever reason, they want to be a passing team, and they prefer, or they want to be a passing team, but it's obvious that what we do is run the ball. So the only game that we really couldn't get, well, in NC State we struggled, but that's because we had no threat of Jordan Travis. And then Clemson just got a good defense, so we struggled in that game.
All right, let's catch up with the chat a little bit, then we'll continue the conversation. Lenore's in the building. He says Miami 38, Florida State 31, keeping it at a 7-point game. Very respectable. He's more respectable than I am. Bahamas, how you doing, boss? Maiden Date in the building. What's going on? Hey, like, share, subscribe, guys, and make sure you go like and subscribe also over the 863 Seminole TV. Share this with a friend. Share this with a Florida State fan, a Miami fan, college football fan in general. Phil in the building. What's going on, Phil? No Power. What's going on? Hey, hell. Here we go. Turn up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on with your boy? It's a Kane thing. Yes, sir. Ellen, how you doing? Good evening to you. Nick in the building. What's going on, Nick? How you doing, boss? Hurricane Kilo. Thank you, JSU, for allowing Florida State to use your stadium. Appreciate you, JSU. That's tough. Man, where we at? Peter, what's going on with you, boss? Mr. HD, 5 straight incoming. Yep. I totally agree with you. I ain't gonna attempt that, but what's going on with you, boss? Maybe you want to take a shot at that name.
Go to Viola.
Yeah.
I think that's what that is.
All right. Orange and Green Blood. What's good, family? What's going on with you? Jay Blaze in the building. What's good? What's good? Let me see. Oh, John, how you doing, boss? Defense has to step up and stop FSU running game. Their running backs has big playability and speed. Absolutely. Totally agree with you. Can't even downplay them. BB the Gator in the building. What's going on, BB? Sorry for your loss over the weekend. Y'all got pummeled and beat and destroyed and whatever enormous words y'all could come up for destroyed. That's what happened to the Gators. Got knocked out by South Carolina. That's tough.
Mullen done quit on them boys.
Oh, man. New King God, what's going on with you? Montre in the building. What's good, boss? All right. Panama Jack in the building. What's going on? I hear TCU might be after primetime Deion Sanders. He need to stay JSU for at least 5 years to continue to build up his experience at HBCU. Y'all don't want Deion Sanders no more?
No, I never did.
Okay. Oh man, Hurricane CJ in the building. What's up, Kane's family and other family? Oh man, OG in the building. What up, everybody? All right. Florida Kane, what's going on with you? Let me see. I think we're almost there. I think I'm almost caught up. Seeing all these names. Bobby, what's going on? Your mom is still looking for their first ACC championship. I see he's a Florida State fan, if not possibly another team that I don't troll. Young Jedi in the building. Ooh, Miami 55, FSU 6. Dang. Wishing for blowouts. I'm with you, Jedi. Where we at? Rose in the building. Dude was a Miami fan. Okay, so the dude that was on that said that was a Miami fan. Okay. Rose, I can't wait till after the game this weekend and I hear my bank account go cha-ching because you don't send me that $100 I each y'all.
So you and Rose bet at 100.
Yep.
Okay.
Where I'm trying to make sure I get everybody. I think I did. Demetrius, what's going on with you? What's good, boss? James in the building, what's going on? 47-10. Miami TVD has to start fast and build a lead to negate FSU run game. Negate FSU run game. Where we at? Trying to move, man. Trying to catch up, but I think he's moving. Canes for life, what's going on with you? Canes for life. Looking forward to the game. I respect FSU because they always show up to play. They don't quit. Except for last season. They quit. They totally quit. they quit. They couldn't hear Mike Norvell.
It ain't last season no more.
That VA, what is it, VA tablet or something he was calling the game on. Jordan Bowman, excited to watch this one. Definitely. All right. Huffabilly Pod, Deion was a great player, a great person too, but coach, question mark. I think Deion's doing pretty well at JSU. He had a pretty good start to me at least.
I mean, I got my own opinions on Deion, but this ain't about Deion, so it is what it is.
Sergeant AR10 in the building, what's going on with you? Marcus in the building, yo, FSU 28, Miami 24. Not gonna happen, but nice dreams. Mason Russian, FSU winning this game 35-28. Run game is too much for Miami's defense to handle. We shall see. Definitely should be exciting. Easy one, no stress. What's going on with you, Alexon Keezy? All right, so we're all caught up.
Yeah,
So now what I think Miami has to do to win this game is literally attack your secondary. Attack those secondary. This year, Miami wide receivers, Tyler Van Dyke, listen up. They are not DBU. Any other season they could say that, not this time around. Attack deep. Establish the run and then attack deep. Trust me. We'll be looking to run the ball the rest of the second half to run out the clock and have, well, hopefully not. Hopefully Manny Diaz doesn't plan on coming into this game with mercy on his mind. I hope he do keep in mind that, a lot of recruits are watching this game, whether or not they picking Miami or Florida State. They are watching fake momentum, all that talk. Let's get it. Sergeant AR10 said, hit the like button, please and do. Let me see where we're at with likes. We got 84 in the chat right now. Make sure you guys hit that like button, please and thank you. So what is it that your defense is going to do to slow down Tyler Van Dyke?
You just got to get pressure on him, period. That's it. Get pressure on them, period.
Now, a lot of teams have been getting pressure on them now.
Yeah, but are they sacking them? I mean, I don't know how many sacks y'all giving up or none of that. But we got, y'all, a lot of people know about Jermaine Johnson, but they don't pay enough attention to Keir Thomas, who from Miami Central too, if I'm not mistaken. He got some sacks on him this year too. I don't know. I don't know how y'all O line is. I just know we need to get to TVD. That's it. And force him to throw out a rhythm. From what I've seen from Van Dyke, he's good on the long ball. I feel like whatever Lashley started opening up y'all playbook with Van Dyke.
All right, so we got 80 watching, 83 watching. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We got 83 watching. We got 48 likes. Hit the like button for us. It boosts the algorithm. A lot more people would know that we on. They can come on in here. We can get this thing jumping. Also in the chat, I do have a poll for you guys. It's a simple poll, basically who will win, Miami or Florida State. So please click on that poll. 78 of you already voted on it. Miami's leading right now at 72% to win. Florida State 28. So y'all participate in that. Hit the, vote. Get your vote on.
That's an unfair poll, but okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit. I'm surprised you guys you just went up to 30%. There you go.
Oh, snap.
So more Seminole fans probably didn't vote before. All right, so what's your what's your game plan? What's your game plan?
What my game plan or what they actually gonna do?
Offense.
I have no idea what this coaching staff is gonna do.
Offensive wise, you going into this game?
I think offensively we got to call a very similar game that we called against North Carolina. That's what I would do. Set up the pass with the run.
Now, we know that's inconsistent because we see you guys had a phenomenal game against North Carolina. Y'all beat them. Hell, we didn't beat them. We got beat by them. And then everything after that's been different. Is there going to be any consistent play calling on defensive wise? Because I know you guys are pretty happy with, what's his name, Adam Fuller.
He had to take care of the kids. But, man, defensively, bro, if you watch this team defensively, they haven't been as bad as they were last year. I think that has a lot to do with the defensive line, though. So we'll see. We'll just see how the game play out. Let me see. Lenora says FSU secondary is not good. It's been better since they changed. They went away from this man-to-man and called more zones. It's actually been better if you watch them. But I still don't think it's great by any means. But if you watch Miami secondary, y'all secondary ain't good either. The difference is y'all do have better quarterback play than us. So, I feel that. Honestly, I think Miami's defense has actually been worse than our defense, if you want to be real. And y'all got a defensive head coach. But if you look at the numbers and you look at the play, y'all's defense has been worse than our defense.
Now, secondary-wise, I totally disagree. I think we have better secondary players than you guys, especially with James Williams.
I think that's all you got.
And Cam Kinch. Also, got to look at Tyreek Stevenson.
All you got is zero.
Tyreek Stevenson on the corner.
He'll hit something. That's about it.
He'll hit some. He'll break up some passes. And I haven't seen too many passes caught on him this season. So if you guys want to attack on passing, you might want to go to the other side of the field. Now, offensive line, how do you think they're going to fare against the Miami defensive?
Again, to me, y'all defense ain't really been like what it should have been. Now, I don't know how many sacks y'all are generating. Like, who leads y'all team in sacks? Who's the best pass rusher on your squad?
That's a tough question. We haven't seen any consistencies to say. It's been up and down. It's most guys have similar numbers, maybe one or two here and there, but most likely Zach McLeod.
And what do you think? How many sacks he got? 3, 4, 5?
Maybe in the
I'm asking because
3, 4, 5
I
range.
don't think the games that I've watched, Miami D line don't jump off the field, don't jump off the screen when I watch it.
It's inconsistent. They don't.
Like what happened to Nesta?
I mean, if you're looking at it from a
he was
Miami
supposed to be the
standpoint, Nesta, to me, Nesta has this one big play a game. He'll give you one big play, and other than that, it's more consistently putting up pressure. But the sacks and the tackle for losses and stuff like that, he might give you one or two of those a game, but that's about it.
Okay.
So it's saying Zach McLeod leads with sack at 4.5.
And that's why I'm asking, because I think that D line and O line is a lot more even matched than people talk about. We got a guy on our offensive line who hasn't given up a sack all year, and Darius Washington, or he may have given up one sack all year, somewhere around there. So our tackle play has actually been pretty solid. Our guard play, especially in the run game, has been really good. But that's why the run game is important. If we can't run the ball, then our team's limited.
All right, so we got 103 in the chat. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Hit that like button, please, and thank you.
It's funny that Mr. HC, the defense has been in every game this year except Bama. Y'all are giving up over 30 points a game. If that's being in every game this year, then okay. If that's the Miami standard on defense, then I guess is that the standard, T2Y?
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, that ain't what Mr. HD thinks. Like, I can tell you that our defense ain't been up to our standard. But Mr. HD says 30 points a game is a new Miami standard.
Yeah, that's definitely not up to Miami standards. I mean, turnovers and tackles for losses and everything has been on the decline with this Manny Diaz called defense. There's no Blake Baker to fall back on. So everything that you're seeing on the defensive side is all coming from Manny Diaz. Now, let's talk about the atmosphere, Docam Stadium. Going into this game, you guys are 6-3, so I'm not quite sure if it'll be as loud as it has been in the past. Pretty sure it probably won't be sold out, or who knows? Maybe it probably will.
I think it'd be solid atmosphere. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna put 80 plus in the stands, but I think 60 because it is Miami. And I do know there's gonna be a lot of recruits there, so I expect a solid atmosphere. But hold on, man. Let me answer this phone call real quick.
All right, so you guys, let me know in the chat. What's your guys' score prediction for this game? Let me know. Let me know your score predictions in this game. I want to see how you guys are feeling. All right, so we got 38-3 Miami. 7-0 Miami. Man, that will be phenomenal. 56-14 Miami. 31-20 Miami. 35-31 FSU. 33-26 Miami. 31-21 Miami. 35-21 Miami. 38-24 Miami. 70-24 Miami. Man, if we put up 70 points on Florida State, they should absolutely fire Mike Norvell on the spot. Fire the mascot. Hell, shoot, fire the stadium. Montre, 35-31 FSU. Hurtful Billy Paul, 32-24, Miami. Let me see here. DeAndre, 31-24, Miami. CJ with a tie at 3-3. CJ gonna bump his head and need that special protocol that Slim Shady likes to give him. He's saying Florida State 27, Miami 24. I got the score the opposite. Miami 27, Florida State 24. Nah, I'm kidding. I can't give y'all the same score prediction for this one. Miami 48, FSU 13. That's tough. All right. Nick says 40-20, Miami.
All right, I'm back, man.
Kilo says 48-17, the U. We got a 35-28, FSU. 31-24, Miami. 28.
All right, what we talking about?
Miami. I'm just catching the score prediction from the guys in the chat.
Oh.
Miami 31.
All the biased fans in here.
Oh, you had a couple FSU picks.
I know I got a few ride or dies that
52-10, the U. All right. Williams says 35-32, FSU. Maiden Day 34-31, Miami. I think we all caught up with the scores. Yellow says
what's up, Yellow?
Yellow says 28-0. I'm guessing you mean for Florida. Yeah, we don't care about Florida. 65-3. Yeesh. If we beat you guys that bad,
Stunner Boy he don't believe that.
If we beat y'all that bad, I
mean, you don't believe that. He don't believe that. So
I don't think I've ever showed you.
Let's keep moving.
I don't think I ever showed y'all any pity, but I would have to. 55-10. He changed his score prediction again. All right. Slim Shady Kane in the building. What's going on, Slim? Todd says 35-14. All right. So let's run through this season, man. Let's see how did we get to where we are now. So Miami started, of course, I'll run through Miami, you run through Florida State. So Miami started off terrible, absolutely terrible. Garbage, basuda, all that. We got our ass handed to us by Alabama. 44-13, was not prepared, did not show up to that game at all. Us fans, we showed up. I was actually in the stadium. Kind of regret seeing such a horrible thing. I'm still traumatized from it. But nonetheless, we moved on, came back home, played Appalachian State, and won by freaking 2 points. At this point in the season, fans are talking. Get Manny Diaz out of here. Get him out of here.
Oh, no, y'all want to keep him now, huh?
No, yes, I don't want to keep him. There's plenty of fans that wants to keep him, but I don't. But then we come off of that game, and then we get pummeled at home again by Michigan State. Michigan State going on right now with one loss to Purdue, looking at, I think they're 8-1. So now it doesn't look that bad, but in the beginning of the season, Michigan State was supposed to be a pushover for Miami. Then we go out, and of course, we destroyed the FCS school that we played, 69-0. And then we come out home versus Virginia, kick at the end, doing, missed it, could have won the game by 1 point, and we end up losing by 2. So, Harry Lee, what's going on here? Green Guy T2I trying to be funny, talking about we 6-3. Wait, who said y'all 6-3? Time out. I would never say FSU 6-3. Y'all would already be bowl eligible. Stop it. So then we come out again, go to North Carolina. Tyler Van Dyke, second start, nail biter down to the end. We end up losing it, pick off. patted ball. North Carolina stopped us, and they got the win. We could have either tied it or possibly won it had that not happened. But a loss is a loss. So we're sitting at 2 losses in the ACC, and then boom, went on a 2-game win streak against ranked opponents, NC State, then Pitt, and of course this nail biter just at home against a terrible Georgia Tech team, by the way. And that's where we are in the season. Miami sitting at 5-4. So if Miami were to win the game against Florida State, which I absolutely do believe that we will, we would be bowl eligible after that. And we will also survive another week to still compete for the ACC Coastal. Some pieces have to fall in place for that to happen, but that's where we are in our season. So I'll give it to you, Pope.
So what happened?
Let's run.
That's my question. What happened? Y'all was what, top 15 team? Y'all was bringing back 22 seniors or whatever the case was.
19 seniors.
Okay, whatever it was. My bad. I missed it by 2.
91.
Y'all was supposed to win your first ACC championship. Y'all was supposed to potentially have a playoff caliber team. My question to you is, what happened?
Danny Diaz.
Why y'all blaming him though? Because he just won 3 games in a row.
Yeah, but he's the general that was supposed to do what he's doing now from the beginning of the season.
And what's that?
Why do your job have to be on the line for you to actually play tough and actually play the younger guys? And we can't even give him credit for playing the younger guys, because if injuries didn't happen with the seniors that we clearly as fans could see was playing better than the seniors, he never put them in. Now his hand is forced, and of course those guys are out there fighting.
But those seniors, that's my thing. Those seniors was a strength for y'all though. Before the season, remember 19-22. That was y'all was bragging about. Y'all was bringing back one of the most experienced teams in the country.
Yeah, and had you given
those were supposed to be a strength for this team.
Yeah, but had you given that strength to a different head coach with some experience and some actual knowledge of playing football, it would have been a total different story. Had you given Nick Saban or any other coach, not just Nick Saban because he at the top, you could have given this team to Mel Tucker or anybody. Hell, Dan Mullen probably would have been great.
You think Dan Mullen could have won with this team?
He could have won with this team. Okay. You give this team to the coach at Duke, hell, he would have won with this team. Damn. It's Manny Diaz showing his inexperience. We hired him to basically learn on the job. So that's where we at right now. That's what happened.
But he been there 6 years. I know he's been the head coach for 3, right? 3 or 4?
Yeah, he's been here. This is his 3rd year as a head coach, but he's been here 6 years. So the guys on defense that's performing terribly, that's not being developed, and clearly you see that, if they get transferred from somewhere else, they come here, after a while they digress. And that's what we're seeing with Manny Diaz. Last year, he had a fallback when he could blame everything on Blake Baker. Well, Blake Baker's not here. And instead of hiring another DC, he puts himself in that position to, coach the defense and coach the whole entire team, run the whole thing. That's terrible for a head coach. That's terrible because now you're putting more pressure on yourself to get more than one job done when you could have just hired somebody to come on in and run the defense, and you could just oversee everything. So here we are today.
I'm asking these. We're gonna get to Florida State. No, we're gonna get to my team eventually. But we're gonna stick to Miami because, again, I just have this thing with this team is y'all was on top of the world before Bama. Now we all kind of thought that Bama game would go as it did go. At least I did. Now I know y'all had all the right in the world to be confident. My thing is, how does a top 14 team and all this accolades that y'all had in the offseason, how do y'all end up with the same record as FSU at one point at 2-4? Because one thing I can say about this team, whether or not I like the fact that we 3-6 or not, everyone knew this team, my team was going to be trash this year. Like, that was a given. Mike Norvell is in complete rebuild mode up here in Tallahassee. Regardless of what the fans say. I'm trying to figure out what happened to these Hurricanes.
Going into this season, 91% coming back. All of that sounds great. All the accolades sounded great. Guys that could possibly first rounders, Bubba Bolden, Zion Nelson. Record could be 11-1. All this stuff was coming out great. Could be 10-2, depending on North Carolina. And here we are today at 5-4 because we totally forgot who our head coach was. We forgot that. Push all the accolades aside, everything like that, because this man has never shown up in any big game at all. Clemson, blowout. North Carolina,
That was a
blowout.
good Clemson team, though.
Bowl game, almost got blown out until N'Kosi Perry almost saved the day. So here we are. First year, he lost to FIU. LA Tech didn't score a point in the bowl game. Lost to Georgia Tech, lost to Duke, you name it. So we totally last year with the COVID situation, we totally
on the real. I didn't even read your comment, Henry guy. I didn't even read your comment, to be honest with you. I have no idea what you said. What did he say?
He said
no. He said you took
T2Y
took a comment down.
Let me go back and see. I think his comment said something about 6-3. Oh, he said T2Y trying to be funny because I made a mistake and say y'all was 6-3.
I saw that comment. I don't know what he's talking about. I honestly don't know what comment he's talking about because I saw that the 6-3 comment. I have no idea what he's talking about. But anyway, go keep going, bro.
Yeah. So basically, we forgot who our head coach was.
Was you a De'Aaron King? I don't remember you. Like I know CJ never liked King. Was you a De'Aaron King?
As long as De'Aaron King was on that field, I was rooting for De'Aaron King.
Okay. So
I didn't see him as the greatest quarterback in the world.
But you didn't think he was
this season because I was uncertain whether or not he would come back because of that knee, and I didn't believe that he would come back fully healthy. And we clearly saw that. Now, when he played against Alabama, I saw him with my own two eyes limping. So I was like, okay, we're going to see the younger guys because we thought we would have seen him against Alabama. Come the next couple games, he's still playing. The next game against Michigan State, not Michigan State, App State.
I think I remember telling y'all before the season that I don't think King was healthy. Y'all shouldn't have put him out there against Bama.
We all knew, but here comes Manny Diaz. King will be ready for game one. He's our guy. That's it. So okay, King it is. Got to roll with who they putting out there with.
So I have one more thing about the Hurricanes, and then we can go to Florida State. So I see recently y'all got a bunch of boys hitting the portal. Now I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. I think most Miami fans think that that's a good thing.
All right, so 4 of them.
So I know, like recently, I saw Jennings hit the portal.
Wiggins, Pope, Jennings, and Hall.
Irvin Hall, yeah.
Irvin Hall and Jennings, they hit today. So Manny Diaz put that out in his press conference today that they would be basically parting ways with the team. So that is absolutely true. Pope and Wiggins a couple weeks ago hit the portal. They're not being utilized they want to be.
I don't think those receivers are a big loss because y'all young receivers was always better. I would agree with that. Like I think young receivers were always better.
And a little bit more earlier on in that season, we also lost another receiver in Jeremiah Payton.
Mm-hmm.
So he hit the portal, and then Quentin Williams. We also lost him to the portal.
He was a D tackle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but none of those guys was really contributors, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, Hall was contributing to missing the ball carriers and going for blocks instead. ESPN made it a big old deal. Come on, man. So, that blew up. The fans started to see it, and then he did it in another game. So eventually,
who took his spot?
James Williams.
Okay, yes, he should have had that spot from the jump then.
Yeah. Gotcha. So James took his spot. Then Bubba Bolden, of course, get hurt. So now it's James Williams and Cam Kitchen. They're running the show, and Avante just came back from suspension or whatever. Mm-hmm. So he's in rotation too. All right, so catch us up to date on this Florida State season from start to where we are now.
So these fools started 0-4. We came out first game of the season, big atmosphere, played a tough game against Notre Dame.
You scared a lot of Miami fans when you played Notre Dame. I'll tell you that. I was still here, man. Come on, you guys, don't get scared now.
Only to then back it up with the most embarrassing loss in the program's history.
Now,
And a loss that is 100% on the coaching staff. 100% on the coaching staff.
All right, so let me ask you this, because I seen you guys played the Gators at one point, and Willie Taggart was coaching, and the Gators tried to do similar things with trying to plant the flag in the middle of the field, and Willie, of course, met him in the middle, stopped it from happening.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing he did in his tenure, but go ahead.
Nonetheless, so JSU, of course, walk-off touchdown, win the game, goes to the center of your field, right there, slap dad on Osceola, and plant their flag. I think that set y'all back 20 years. In the trolling business, I think it set you back 20 years.
The only thing I'll say to that is look at who our head coach is.
True.
Our head coach has let Dabo Swinney and Manny Diaz talk shit and never respond. So that doesn't really surprise me.
Now, one of the most important questions after that JSU game, one of your players proposed to his girlfriend right when JSU was celebrating and stuff like that. Did she say yes?
I would hope so. I hope he didn't lose that game and get denied. I'm pretty sure she said yes. I would hope so.
All right. Well, you continue.
And then who was that? Who was the third game of the season? I think the third game was Wake, which is really the only game of this season that I thought we I think we threw like 4 interceptions in that game. And then we played Louisville, lost to them by a touchdown. Then we went on 3. Ultimately, look, we don't need to go game by game. It's irrelevant. They started off the season absolutely terrible to the point where I didn't know if we would win 2 games. Then they kind of picked it up once they realized they needed to stop playing this quarterback shuffle mode. Honestly, man, I know Miami, y'all talk a lot about coaching, bro. And again, I don't watch Miami every game, but the games I watch, I'm not going to say coaching isn't y'all problem, but I think y'all have some other problems that's not so much coaching. But when you watch this Florida State team, you talk about learning on the job. Mike Norvell is learning on the job.
Yeah, our issue is
game by game. There are games where it's like, okay, Mike, you did the thing, and then there's games like, Mike, you don't know what the hell's going on right now.
Yeah, our key issue is administration.
That's Florida State's problem. If you go watch the NC State game, we had a 4th down call in that game that we had no business calling, where we should have 8 minutes left. We should have punted the ball and pinned them back into their own territory. It was only a 7-point game at that time. Instead, Mike panics, goes for it on 4th down, and NC State goes and scores. They get the ball at midfield and go score. There was still 8 minutes left in that game.
We have similar issues with play calling because guess what? On 3rd downs, guess what Miami's doing? Running up the middle. Our Jalen Knighton's specialty is not pushing that line, but guess what we're going to do on 3rd down? We're going to run up the middle. If you're a head coach that has watched Reed Lashley all season and you know it's 3rd and short, guess what you're planning to stop? Run it up the middle.
But TVD's killing it right now. Is that not some of Rick Lashley's doing? I mean, it's not all on TVD. Granted, I get it. He the one out there slinging the ball, but I
think it's more to do with Reed Lashley's confident in TVD issue. And I think hopefully this week we'll see it improve more and more because TVD is actually proving himself.
Uh-huh.
He's game on, weekly. He's
dog. I don't know who Mr. HD is, but he shouldn't talk football.
What was that?
He shouldn't talk football no more.
If
you think coaching at Memphis and his first head coaching job and his second head coaching job is all the way at a Power 5 level and it ain't learning on the job, you have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, go ahead, T2I.
Yeah, we took a caliber coach that was supposed to be coaching at Temple. So
I agree with that. So I agree that y'all came and got Manny. I think y'all did that for recruiting purposes, but at least we kind of did the same thing with Jimbo. Jimbo had never head coach before, but we had him as an O coordinator and then we promoted him. So what Miami did wasn't necessarily unprecedented. It just didn't work out for y'all.
Well, this season, a lot of things have been going on behind the scenes, but you tell the fans this, that, and the third, nobody believes you, and then when it happened, they're like, "Oh, okay." So it's more of a wait and see kind of thing with me, because all the things that I've been hearing, I've told everybody it hasn't happened yet. So until people see it, they won't believe it, and I don't want to keep pushing. So you guys are, you say,
I keep hearing, and maybe you could talk about this a little bit. I keep hearing, bro, because I watch my team, and we got some of the worst linebacker play I've seen. We have one good linebacker on my team. That's Deloach, number 20.
You got one more than we do.
One good linebacker, and I keep hearing Miami fans say that y'all linebackers are terrible, and I just don't believe it. They might be terrible, but I don't believe there's no way that y'all linebackers can be worse than the linebackers I watch.
You say you got one good one?
Yeah, we got one good one. We got one solid linebacker.
You got one more good solid linebacker than we do.
I don't believe that.
There's no consistency at linebacker. And we keep the biggest excuse we keep hearing is guys don't know the playbook. So the best guys that have not touched the field or whatever apparently don't know the playbook. I don't know how difficult this playbook is, but maybe it's more harder than the SATs. But guys don't know the playbook. And according to
tell them so. We got the worst line.
According to other people, there's no base playbook for Manny Diaz. It's all concepts. So it should be easy, right? But we got guys that don't know the playbook. The best guys not playing because they don't know the playbook. That's tough.
Honestly, I would probably trade. Let's make it. I'll trade y'all. Who do you think is your best linebacker?
Damn.
Just put a name out there, because whoever your best linebacker is, I'll trade you DJ Lundy for that guy right now.
Take Corey Flags, I guess.
Okay, I'll take Flag over DJ Lundy right now. I promise you.
Yep. Good luck with that.
You want to make that trade?
Very hesitant, but trade definitely would take it. Now, secondary, what seemed to be the issue? Because, like I said, the narrative for you guys for the last, since whenever, you guys have been claiming DBU. So what's the issue with secondary? Is it development? Is it transfer? What is it?
Early on in the season, it was scheme. Actually, I think if you watch our DBs now, we're playing a lot better because they switched from this man-to-man stuff that I kept saying. Our guys don't have the speed to play man-to-man. But when we've been running this more zone-oriented defense, they've actually been a lot better. But we just got some guys that just flat out bad. Like Marcus said in the chat, Jerry Jones is just not a good DB. But he's probably the weakest link in the whole secondary. I think the secondary as a whole has stepped its game up.
No.
They made some position switches as well, but for the most part,
Henry Lee totally disagree with you on the linebacker situation. He's saying that dude's a solid linebacker.
Well, Henry can believe what he wants. I would ask who I said we got one good one or one solid one. 20. Go watch 20. He's in on every play. He's the only linebacker that can run sideline to sideline, period. And he ain't perfect by any means. Don't get me wrong.
And
I'm not saying he know All-American.
Now who is Jones? Player. Who is Jones number 7? Because
he's a DB.
Joe is saying he's garbage.
Yeah, he's a DB. That's the worst DB in the secondary right there, Jerry Jones.
Is he starting?
Yeah.
Keep starting him.
He's starting.
Keep starting him.
He's starting. And I hope they don't put hope they don't put Rambo on his side of the field.
All right, so I do have some special.
Brownlee's actually been pretty good here in recent weeks. Again, but they play him more zone. He's not in man-to-man coverage as much, so Brownlee has kind of stepped his game up in that role.
All right, so I did make some clip videos. Normally when people donate to the channel, I play them a Miami Hurricane clip. I did make 2 of them just for Florida State. So if anybody donates, you don't have to, don't feel pressure to at all. But if anybody donates, I do have 2 more fresh clips for you guys.
Y'all go ahead and donate, but we ain't trying to see that crap though.
T2Y, who Miami play in basketball? I don't know.
Bro, nobody care about no basketball. It's football season.
Football season. This is Florida State Miami week. What the hell? Ask me about basketball when
in March.
The season is over.
Talk about basketball in March.
You ask me about basketball when the season is over, I might tell you who we're recruiting. Shit. But football wise.
Hurricane Millie said we both got special ed players.
Wow.
I'll take some of y'all players for real though.
So let's talk about Norvell.
Yeah, let's talk about them.
This weekend, you guys came out there with the fatigue zone, and Miami has their history with the fatigue thing.
Time out, because I already know where you're going with this. It was veteran. It was like a veteran appreciation day. That's why they had on the camo. So it ain't nobody trying to steal nothing. No swag. Stop.
No.
It was a veteran appreciation day.
I wasn't gonna go there because we lost in our fatigues too now.
Oh, okay.
But I was thinking, did the other team coaches have on fatigue?
No. It was just Florida State. They had a veteran appreciation day, or like Marcus said, military week in Tallahassee. That's all it was.
Okay, so obviously the other team should have got the memo, and they should have wore the camo too. So it would have been actually something to celebrate. Because boy, did they put a beating on y'all.
It wasn't no beating, but oh yeah, we lost.
Yeah, you guys actually played them pretty well.
We
played them the way you got, well, not quite the way you guys beat North Carolina, but it's kind of like we beat them and y'all beat North Carolina. North Carolina beat us, they beat y'all, kind of thing.
See, the things that happened when we played them, we didn't get those same. I remember watching y'all game against NC State, and they had so many drop passes that if they had just caught, they probably win the game. Whenever Florida State plays, we don't get those benefits. That's the problem with our luck is so bad. We don't get teams dropping passes on us. We make every quarterback look great. So TVD about to look like a first round pick.
All right, so we got our first donation here tonight.
Slim, man, you just want to see these clips.
All Norvell had to do at Memphis was not mess up.
True. I mean, he's not lying. Slim not lying, though.
A complete rebuild at Power 5 level is completely different ball.
Absolutely. You're not lying.
Appreciate you for the $5 donation, Slim.
Go to stupid ass video.
Here we go, y'all.
That was actually kind of funny. Man, that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I literally had to go find some guitar play and everything like that and put that together. Oh man, appreciate the $5 donation, Slim. I absolutely agree with you. I think we should pull some. Let him go have some fun and not mess up at Temple. Same way Norvell couldn't mess up at Memphis. But I think, is it fair to say you guys are stuck with Norvell for possibly the next 3 years?
I think the next 3 years, no. I think obviously the remainder of this year, and by midway next year, I think you'll know Norvell's future.
The middle of next year.
Yeah.
Because
as you know, with these contracts, as they go on, unless the guy signs an extension, the buyout gets lower and lower. Okay,
so I basically got to see what time What
go
part of the
0-4
year
next year,
playoff.
yeah. Go 0-4 next year, he might be out of there.
So hopefully we play you guys a little bit earlier next year, so that way, if Mike Norvell does get fired, it'll be credited to Miami, and we could put another coach in our got fired at Florida State thing.
Okay, so here's the question though. Here's the real question. If Manny lose this game, is he? Because I think Manny saved his job. But if he lose this game, is he for sure done? There's some people are saying that Manny's done regardless, unless he wins out.
He's done regardless.
Okay.
But I'm not sure at this point firing him with 3 games left is going to do anything. But he's done.
So you think he's gonna finish the season no matter what?
He'll finish out the season. I mean, put it like that. We got 3 games left. After we play Florida State, we got 2 games left after that. After Florida State, there's no coastal hopes or anything like that. So it's just play out for a bowl game.
Can I let me address a comment real quick?
Which one?
Jay Hollicane. He said, "Do Mike like y'all did Willie."
Wait.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but here's the thing. I want you to just do a quick Google search. I want you to look at the roster that Willie Taggart inherited, because he had guys that are playing in the NFL right now. He had the Cam Akers, Brian Burnses of the world on that team. And look at the team that Norvell inherited. And you tell me who underperformed. That's what I'll say. You look at what's on Mike Norvell's team, and you go look at what Willie had, and you tell me who underperformed. It's not making an excuse for Mike, because Mike got to do better than 3 and 6 regardless. But there's a reason why Willie is looked at in the way he looked at.
Oh man! So when Willie left, I guess the turnover purse went with him. You think Mike Norvell gonna bring out his own turnover thing?
No.
I think literally when Willie followed in Miami's footsteps by doing that, I think he made a huge mistake. Because that's one thing you never do, especially follow what a rival is doing.
Would you say that part again?
I think when Willie followed in Manny Diaz's footsteps with coming out with a turnover, anything right after Miami does it.
Well, first of all, like Willie, if you're gonna do a turnover thing at Florida State, why not have like a turnover tomahawk or something, something that represents the school? Why the hell did we choose a backpack? Like at least with the turnover chain, even though they flea market ass chains, even at least with the turnover chain, it represents Dade County. Like I get that, like the gold, like I got it. That represents Miami.
That turnover chain is not from no flea market.
Man, I've seen the video. It's made at a flea market.
That thing is made by AJ the Jeweler. Shout out to AJ the Jeweler.
In the flea market.
And that thing is 100% real.
100% sterling silver.
It's real.
Spray painted.
That turnover backpack, wasn't it Gucci or something like that?
Man, it was
Louis Vuitton.
It was a hoochie purse. That's what it was.
Y'all couldn't have got y'all should have went to Chanel.
I don't know what they should have did. They should have never brought it out.
backpack. Oh man. Yeah, that was embarrassing, especially trying to see them trying to put that backpack on, and half the time it didn't even fit y'all players correctly.
I can't defend the backpack. I don't even try to at this point.
So
I don't try to. I can't defend the backpack.
So
but the backpack ain't here no more.
Recruiting wise, this game is going to basically steer a lot of guys. Whether they do decide, if in their choice it comes down to Miami or Florida State, if not other schools, how bad do you think this game is going to impact you guys?
I said a couple weeks ago that the Clemson game might have been Mike Norvell's biggest game. I think that this might be Mike Norvell's biggest game because of that recruiting aspect of it. First of all, if Miami beats Florida State, your hope for a bowl game is done. So that's first of all, right? If you're trying to make a bowl game, you can't lose this. And on top of that, some of your biggest targets left that you still trying to convince to a 3-16 is at this game. So you can't lose this game and think you about to land, I don't know, whoever, name them, right? So he gotta come out here and Mike Norvell has to coach like this is a game for his life, to be quite honest with you. If you don't win any other game this year, if you can win this Miami game, Mike Norvell might save himself.
All right, so I think
I honestly believe that.
I think Brother Jay is trolling, but nonetheless, he says X 6'3" to show you the backpack purse. He got it.
You know better than that. I ain't worried about that.
So, Mike Norvell, do you honestly think he could turn that team around? Do you think he has the capability?
Rose said the backpack came from Ross.
Wow, that's an FSU fan. Shout out to Rose. I don't care if it came from Ross. Rose, next week when we whoop y'all, put $100 in it and ship it to me. Island Boy in the building. What's going on, Island Boy? That's why we're gonna win, Pope. We ain't losing to them.
Oh, I ain't picking us to lose. I'm just saying though, Mike gotta win. But go ahead. What you was about to say, bro?
So, do you honestly think Mike Norvell can turn it around? Do you have any beliefs in him from what you've seen so far?
I think I am still 50-50 on Mike because there are things that Mike is doing structurally wise in this program that this program has needed for some years that don't really get seen on the football field. A lot of stuff behind the scenes in terms of fundraising, money, and the amount of staff FSU has now, again, hasn't been seen in a while. Like just a lot of stuff he's doing is positive. But his on-field coaching has to get better, or I don't know if all that's gonna matter.
So let's just say coming out this weekend, similar results to last year. Mike Norvell.
Well, it ain't gonna be 52%. Stop that.
You was not on the sideline last year, so let's just say he's on the sideline. Similar results. This time you're at home, and that happened. What do you think your fan base reaction would be?
Bro, 52-10?
52-10. Maybe 56.
Well, just watch me after the game and see about the fan base reaction. I'll say that.
Dude, literally, you made my freaking...
I might set YouTube on fire if that happens.
Dude, that last touchdown against JSU, you freaking made my day because I was watching and
I couldn't believe my eyes, bro.
the reaction, I was like, holy shit. Holy shit. I was like, oh my God, I got material for the next 20 years. I can hang that over their head like they've been hanging FIU over my eyes. Thank you. Look at God. Look at, won't he do it? Man. So the rest of your schedule, you got tough slate coming up, basically.
Honestly,
Miami, Boston College, and Florida.
All them games are winnable. Florida might even be, I don't know, man. Florida might be the easiest game left.
Yeah,
Dan Mullen is all but quit.
So from what I'm hearing, if it's any truth to it, isn't Grantham from Florida State, not Florida State, for Florida, already been fired?
Yeah, I think they fired their O-line coach and their defensive coordinator in Florida.
Okay, so they might be at a disarray right now. So probably it'll be a perfect time to catch them. You just seen what South Carolina did to them. So if you could mimic what they did, you can blow them out. Now, is this a home or away for you guys?
So I think that Florida game is winnable, man. Hell, this game coming up Saturday is winnable. All these games are winnable. Miami ain't nothing to sneeze, ain't nothing to write home to your mama about.
Now, Florida State fans, and if any Gator fans tune in,
I think BB
I need to
is
send
right.
y'all my chiropractor bill because carrying you guys for the past 2 weeks has been kind of tough on my back.
Man, stop.
We've been carrying this state of Florida. Oh man. So what would you say would it take to turn the whole state of Florida around? Whether it's Miami, Florida State, and the Gators.
Say that again.
What you think it would take to turn this state around?
We got to get. I can't speak for Florida. I can speak more so for Miami and Florida State. Because Florida actually has a solid administration. I just think I don't know what happened with Dan this year. Dan's actually a good football coach. Now, he's never been a great recruiter, but you can offset that with getting great recruiters on your staff. I just think Dan don't want to be there no more. I think he really I read somewhere that Dan don't really like to recruit, so I think he's been trying to go to the NFL. I think Dan just basically is quitting on the University of Florida.
Now,
So that's their problem, is that they might be in a Jimbo situation over there where I think their head coach might literally just be quitting.
now I told people this week that basically we are you guys Super Bowl for one and two reasons. For one,
Y'all who Super Bowl?
Y'all Super Bowl. Because if you lose this game,
reverse that.
If you guys lose this game, your bowl season is done with.
Okay. So this season you might have a little bit of a point there.
And on top of
that,
we're not just your Super Bowl in that department, but we're also your Super Bowl in. If you guys were to lose to us, you would not get over 500. So or even 500. So this would be another losing season, and that would be how many in a row? Going on. Is it 4?
I think 3 or 4, somewhere around there, bro. I lost count with that.
So we basically are hanging over you guys' head in 2 departments. So this is kind of like a Super Bowl for you guys.
This year, I would agree with you. Normally, they'll stop it. It's the other way around.
Jay Hurricane says Motoko will be playing by third quarter, 55-12.
He don't believe that. It just helps him get some sleep at night, but he don't believe it.
Appreciate you for the $5 donation, Jay Holler. Appreciate that. Now we can play the other clip. I like this one too.
That was whack. I like the other one better though.
It's only so much you could do without getting copyrighted. So I had to do what I could do. Next thing you know, a little Scrappy be wanting to take everything I got.
You ain't lying. But as far as Miami and Florida State, I think they're in very similar positions. Our administration's got to get their head out their ass, and that will help turn this thing around. But until we kind of dedicate ourselves to winning football games, I don't know.
That's clearly been the issue at Miami also, because when you look at the fact that administration had to be literally forced to say something if ESPN hadn't come out and made this thing blow it up nationally. We've been saying this, we've been seeing this, but nobody listened to us until it's all over the world on national TV. Kurt Herbstreit blew this thing up. Administration don't care nothing about football. What's been the narrative for ESPN for the past 20 years? When Miami and Florida State are at their best, that is when college football is at their best. We saw a glimpse of that in 2013. You guys won the championship. We both went into that game undefeated. You guys came out national champs. We literally went downhill after that. But to their defense, when Miami and Florida State have a chance or have a shot in that thing, it's been better. Recruits stay in Florida. Now they're just going everywhere. Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, Texas A&M, you name it.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. We got a $10 donation from Hurricane Speed Jr. I heard primetime interview for TCU. When is he coming to FSU? I think that's more of a question for you.
Probably never.
So if he
Next question.
if he were to get hired at TCU, I think that probably would dead all the Dion's coaching at JSU to get some experience to come over there and take over at Florida State.
First of all, I don't think he's taking that TCU job. I don't mind him interviewing for it. He's not gonna. He ain't gonna leave JSU until his son graduates. If he does leave JSU, eventually, obviously, he'll leave that program and go.
You got to look at it too.
But he's gonna coach his son.
You could transfer anywhere in the country and start right away.
Yeah, but he's not
right away. So he might actually take that job and take his sons with him.
I don't think he was good. Yeah, he could. I guess technically he could. And
then if he does go to TCU, if that were to happen, and he looks great over there, he starts winning. Florida State fans are going to start being. We should hire Diaz.
I don't see TCU. I don't think that's a good mix for him.
That's what's going to happen. We should hire Dion when we can. You see what he's doing over there. Blah, blah, blah. The talks are coming. If that were to happen, Hurricane Speed Jr. Thank you for that. Appreciate that, boss. Thank you for the $10 donation. I'm gonna give you both of them.
So when we started doing both videos, it don't work like that.
When the donations is big, I'll give them a big one. Or we could just revert to the one from last year.
We here, we back. Florida State is back, and we're going to show that Saturday.
I like that one.
So you just did 3 instead of 2. See, you don't even follow your own rules.
Oh, man. And I got one for the guys that come in here and say stupid stuff. Like,
the Steve Harvey one is funny. I like that one.
Oh, yeah, I like that one, too. Some of you guys are new here, so you probably didn't see the Steve Harvey one. Well, there you go.
Shut your stupid ass up. Say that, folks. What did your dumb ass say it?
Yeah, and then, every now and then you get a couple of trolls that come in here and spam stuff, and you got to tell them to get out.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
I think that's my favorite one, though. Or when somebody come in here and tell you all the stats that you don't care about.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
All right, so what's the Florida State fans' reaction if they were to get this game? They were to beat Miami this week. What would your reaction?
Well, I'll tell you this right now. Don't worry about me. If Florida State beats Miami, you might want to cancel your channel or delete it, or I don't know, go into hiding, because they're going to be over here heavy. With all the trolling you do, they're going to light your ass up.
All right, so let me give you the stipulations that I gave them. I told Florida State fans, if Miami were to lose to Florida State, I would have to change the name of my channel to Seminoles T2Y for 1 week. Mm-hmm. Also, I would have to make a video wearing a Florida State t-shirt.
I ain't doing none of that.
The other way around is if Florida State were to lose, all those Florida State fans would have to come over here to the live show and basically donate $1 saying y'all got it. That's it. Nothing else. Y'all got it. Now, if you don't want to donate, that's fine. Just say in the chat, thank you for having mercy, Daddy. That's it.
Oh, man.
That's it. But I'll guarantee you for a week straight, if I have to have Seminole T2I on there, I'm only dropping one video that week. And that's the only one that I have to drop.
No, buddy.
That's the only one.
I mean, I guess that's a solid bet. I ain't doing none of that. I told the guys on my channel, if we won, that I'd do a free giveaway.
Yep, they literally will be trolling me for a whole week.
But they're going to get your ass. Hey, what's up, Auntie?
Auntie, what's going on? Yep, that's it, Auntie. I'll be one of you guys for a week if you guys get it done. But I have a lot of confidence that you guys will not. So this bet would be basically obsolete. It won't matter. The Miami dropped 50 on y'all again. It won't matter.
Stop it.
Now, all I can say to the Florida State fans,
So
when we beat y'all and we do blow y'all out, don't go into hiding. Don't act like a snapper turtle.
No, you ain't gonna do my fans like that, because Miami fans was MIA on my channel when y'all was 2-4. The moment y'all beat, I think it was NC State, I had people who ain't never been on my channel before coming in here talking trash to me. I ain't seen New King God all year. All of a sudden, y'all won a couple games. He show up in my chat.
All right, so
it don't work like that.
Here's what we're gonna do.
You fans notorious for going ghost when stuff ain't going y'all way.
Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put the link in the chat for Florida State and Miami fans only.
Let them know, though. They couldn't be found on my channel.
And you guys could ask me and Pope whatever it is that y'all want to ask us. So I'm gonna put the link in the chat. So you guys click the link, come on in. You can ask if you're a Florida State fan, Miami fan, you can come in and ask me and Pope whatever it is that y'all want to ask.
And they know who they are too, who wasn't over there on my channel the whole year. They know who they are. The only Miami fans I see every week is like Maiden Day, Kane's Kilo be over there, OG be over there. That's about it though. And if I'm missing you, I'm sorry. But them boys stayed MIA, and they know it.
T2Y, after FSU beat Miami, you will be able to troll Florida State. No shit. I still will be able to. Thank you for putting that in the chat. I understood what he was trying to say, but I'm gonna give that.
Phil be over there. I forgot about Phil.
All right, Slim Shady Canes is in the building. What's going on, Slim Shady? How you doing, boss?
What's going on, gentlemen?
You sound a little bit low.
Oh, my bad. That better?
Okay, there you go. All right, so what's on your mind?
Well, first of all, I want to completely agree with what he said about Mike Norvell. I mean, it goes back to that point in that super chat I made earlier. Justin Fuente started what was going on in Memphis. I mean, I got to see it all because I live right there, right outside of Memphis. And Mike Norvell just took it over when Justin Fuente left. And to his credit, he didn't fuck it up. I'll give him that. He kept it going. But he hasn't had to, and that's why I was suspecting Mike Norvell coming in, because I haven't seen him, even on a lower tier, build up a program. He just took one over that was already built up.
I agree, Slim.
And then you throw him into a complete rebuild at a Power 5 program, especially one with the history of Florida State. That's a whole nother ball game.
All right, so hold on, Slim. Auntie with the sticker, the $10 sticker. Appreciate that, Auntie.
Shout out to Auntie.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to give you both of them, Auntie.
No.
All right, appreciate that $10 donation, Auntie. You know what? One more for the people in the back.
We here, we back. Florida State is back, and we're gonna show that Saturday.
All righty, so continue, Slim.
Well, and I almost said the same thing about Mike Norvell, and this is kind of just to prove my point. Regardless of the coach, with the exception of Mike Norvell coming out going like 1-11, 0-12, y'all need to give that man the time. I think 4 years at least.
He's gonna get at least 3. 4 years. It's not that I don't understand. It's not that I don't even. It's not that I don't disagree with you. It's that Here's what I'll say about Mike, and this is probably the only thing I can say about Mike. If you look at that way this team played last year, they was literally getting blown out every game. This year has not been the case. They've been in every single game up until the end. So at least you see that progression. So that means next year he needs to start winning some of these close games. If he starts winning some of these close games, he'll save himself.
All right, so we got.
That's really the best I can say for Mike.
So we got Boxing Monster with a $5 donation.
That's Diaz.
That's FSU for life.
That's
Hammer
DF.
gang.
That's DF.
All right, so DF. Oh man.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
DF.
See, I wouldn't even know. You done changed up the name and everything, but appreciate the $5 donation, boss. Here you go. I know he plays the guitar pretty well, so it got to be an encore. You know, people always ask for an encore when you do it well. Appreciate that, DF. Thanks for pointing it out, Pope, because I would not have known that was him.
Yeah, it's DF.
Now, as far as the Florida State administration goes, I mean, you would know it better than me. I mean, Miami's about really the only school where I keep up with the administration like that. But and I've said this to T2I before. The administration at the University of Miami not caring about football, we're not letting some big cat out of the bag. It's been this way forever, since before I was born. And for some reason, Miami fans are shocked by them.
Slim.
Well, we need a real. We don't even have a real athletic director right now. Our athletic director is an accountant.
Slim.
That's our problem.
Slim. We just want to win. We just want to win. We just want to
I'm
win.
right there with you. I'm with you. I am. But like I said, the Miami administration not caring about football, we're not letting out some big secret. Kirk Herbstreit didn't break no new ground. Like I said, it's been that way since before I was born.
Well, hopefully it changes. There are some changes on the way. I was telling you the other day, man, there are some changes in place. Alonzo Highsmith is not just hanging around here just for his health.
So why don't you break the news then?
I can't do that.
Why not?
Because then it's a thing called murder in the first degree. Because if push comes to shove and stuff were to change along the way and it don't go that way, T2Y is dead. Buried.
Man, you know what it is? Every Miami YouTuber got an inside source. Every one of them.
I be saying the same. This ain't a shot at nobody.
T2Y has
Florida
no
State.
inside. T2Y has no inside. What's his name? Source. T2Y has no inside source.
Slim, I say the same thing. That's not a shot at anybody, but I always say the same thing about Florida State guys. Like, even though there aren't a lot of Florida State YouTubers, I'm like.
Now I did learn something today, and this is an article that's put out by such. I'm not going to say them because I'm not promoting them, but Manny Diaz is blaming Blake James for the dilemma with recruiting. Apparently, Manny Diaz, knowing that Blake James will be gone, he can talk now.
Okay, and this is just me asking from the outside. How does an athletic director affect recruiting?
There's a thing called
half of the kids you recruit don't even know who the AD is, and that's just the truth.
When you go into recruiting, there's a thing called a budget. Florida State might have a $2 million budget for the recruits that they bring in, whether it's hotels.
Okay, but
all this
y'all
stuff.
are recruiting guys that you can walk down the street and go get.
That's not the main issue. When we got guys that's coming out of state, look at our quarterback that committed is from Georgia, stuff like that.
Okay.
And then you got guys that may be up in Tallahassee, up in Gainesville area and stuff. It's the experience of what they get when they come to Miami. You guys put more effort into you guys' recruiting than we do.
I won't
and everything like that to
I
go
won't
behind.
deny that. Like I won't deny that. Like Mike just had a
$100
helicopter.
million?
He just had a helicopter the other week and went and flown and seen. So I won't necessarily deny that. But what I'm asking,
wasn't Mike Norvell driving kids around in a slingshot
He claimed he paid for that himself, regardless. But yeah, he had a slingshot, and then a few weeks ago he had a helicopter ride somewhere. I still don't understand how Manny's blaming the athletic director though.
But you know what you get when you come to Miami? You get a barbecue. You get to go to the pool.
Well, and see, this is where I disagree with a lot of people too, more so Miami fans than anything, because there are some people that agree with the point I'm going to make. I don't believe a word that comes out of any coach's mouth in a press conference or in an interview. I don't believe shit that comes out of their mouths. And nobody should.
I don't know about that. If you tell me, hey, this guy and that guy ain't playing this week, and you're a head coach, I'm gonna believe that. Now, whether it come down to the program and this, that, and the third, you might be right, Slim.
I'll give you a perfect example. Ask any Georgia fan with some sense if they believe a word that comes out of Kirby Smart's mouth in an interview, and they'll all tell you no, they don't.
I'm gonna get AR started.
Well, I don't believe half of what comes out of, except for when Mike Leach is just trying to make a show, or when Lane Kiffin's out there running his mouth doing what Lane Kiffin does. 90% of what you get in interviews and in press conferences is all BS.
I agree with that.
I could give you two coaches that anything that come out of their mouth, you could definitely believe them. Dabo Sweeney, Dan Mullen.
Well, Mullen, Dabo. Yeah,
they're consistent. They're very consistent in what they're saying.
Dabo's an unapologetic clown.
Dan Mullen is consistently a fucking circus clown. I'll give you that.
So is Dabo Sweeney.
Montre said barbecue and a turnover chain. Oh man.
Now let's get to this. Let's get to this game at hand. This is one, and I hate to say it, but I've got to kind of side with our esteemed Seminole colleague here. The majority of these games are not blowouts. The majority of them are close. Games like last year are the outlier, going either way. So, I mean, if I'm going to pick this game right now, at most, I'm going to say a 10-point win. I do think Miami's going to win, but at very most, I see like a 10-point win, just because most of these games are almost always close.
Nah, me personally, I like to say, we're going to beat them by 30 and this, that, and third. And then when I put out my predictions, it's a lot closer. I mean, last year caught me off guard. I didn't see that coming. If I said that we was going to blow out Florida State and it was going to be like that, I'll be lying to you. I didn't see it nowhere and being nothing like that. And I was in the building to actually witness it. So it was phenomenal. But I don't know. And I can't say it'll be anything like that this year.
Well, I think you see that last year, what y'all did to us wasn't.
It was murder.
Well, it wasn't. Look at the rest of that season. Everybody did that to Florida State last year.
Yeah,
unless you were Duke.
Yeah, I got up for Duke. I don't know. I didn't get up for anybody else, but you got up for Duke.
Florida State didn't compete in any game last year. So I have a hard time believing that this upcoming Saturday, I agree with Slim. This is a 10-point game, in my opinion, either way. At most, 10-point game either way. I can see Florida State winning by 7-10 or Miami doing the same thing. But a blowout, I don't. Again, like I said, I'll set YouTube on fire if that's the case.
Okay, let's play a game here. Let's just say Miami comes up to Florida State and get absolutely blown out. Then what's the reaction?
Well, that's something you got to ask your Hurricane fans. If Miami gets blown out by Florida State,
what is your reaction, Slim?
Because if
I'm gonna put it nicely and say a severe disappointment, but it's gonna be a lot worse than that.
If Miami was somehow to get blown out, by FSU, I don't know how Manny could make it out of that stadium with his job still intact.
All I could ask Manny after that is, do you have Uber or Lyft?
And I don't know how recruits could look at that program and say, like, I'm coming there. Because this isn't a good Florida State team, period. We're competing, but we're building, right? This is not a good team. So a blowout, a hard fought win wouldn't hurt Miami, in my opinion. Like it'd be like, damn, they just lost a rivalry game to their rival and a tough loss. Like
Well,
it happens.
this is, and to your point that there's a lot of underclassmen playing in this game. It's going to be their first time in a Miami FSU game, so they're going to be out there hyped up, and they're going to make some mistakes.
Right.
They're going to make some big ones. You know, as good as Tyler Van Dyke played, I mean, 3 games is not enough to say consistency yet. Not in my opinion, anyway.
I've always said it. Listen, every season, that quarterback competition, every position should be competition. Now, next season, we might have the Tyler Van Dyke versus Jake Garcia. Whoever wins out, I don't care which one it is, put them on the field. Make sure it's a fair competition and put them on the field.
But should it be a competition, though? That's my question.
It should always be. When you have 2 quarterbacks that you couldn't decide on, the reason Tyler Van Dyke got the nod was because of Jake Garcia's injury.
Van
No,
Dyke.
no, hold up. No, it wasn't, because Tyler Van Dyke was the first one into that FCS game. He was
exactly. Now, if you ask Reed Lashley in recent press conference, said out of Reed Lashley's mouth, if Tyler Van Dyke, if Jake Garcia had not gotten injured in that Central Connecticut game, they would have gave him the nod over Tyler Van Dyke. He said that out of his mouth.
No, he didn't. He said he would have played him too. He said they would have played both of them to see who performed best.
Dude said he would have played Garcia over Van Dyke.
See, this is the other problem I have with this fan base. They hear what they want to hear, not what actually gets said.
What is Van Dyke's record as a starter?
3-2.
He's 3-2. So let's say he finishes the season. What is there? 3 games left? 6-2.
Well, no, he's 4-2 because he started that Central Connecticut game too. Derek King didn't play in that game at all.
Okay, he's 4-2. So then he finishes the season 7-2, right? Because you got 3 games left, right?
Man,
do you really go into next year with Garcia as legit competition over a guy who's already proved at the college level to go 7-2?
Now, boxing monster, who the hell is Jerry Garcia? I know what you said.
He's just being trolling.
This is one where I do agree with T2I. I think there should be, I mean, without question, open competition at every position every week. I don't want anybody to get comfortable in their position.
So I would agree with that with every position, maybe except quarterback. And that's just kind of my philosophy. Your quarterback has to have the utmost confidence at all times. And if he's looking over his shoulder, it's hard for him to have that. And it's hard for me to explain to a kid who went 7-2 as a starter that this guy who hasn't played a college game yet is legit competition to him.
Yeah. Now, flip side of that, you are right, and you don't want to be playing quarterback hokey pokey and starting one quarterback one week because you think he looks better that week, or start another quarterback another week because you think he looks better this week. You do need to get a set guy and stick with him for the season.
Yeah, so that's just I think quarterback is different than every other position. Every other position, you're absolutely right. It should be competition every week.
Now, okay, fight it out in the spring. That way you go into fall camp with your undisputed starter, and he's the starter unless he gets injured or unless he just completely tanked and you got no choice to pull it.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, houses. I wish we. Hey, y'all go ahead and let Jake Garcia transfer. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. We don't got a quarterback, so of course we want Jake Garcia. I ain't gonna sit here and cap.
Now, I think another position. Now, see, you got me thinking about it. I think another position we need to have that is offensive line. Because the offensive line has got to gel together. And you
I don't necessarily disagree there. There's a little bit more leeway with your O-line, but you're right. Your O-line needs to almost be of one mind.
The Miami Hurricanes fan says Florida State talking about taking Miami's turnover chain. Well, in order to take the chain, they would have to take their home field back first.
Wow. What?
I mean,
Bro, we don't want that flea market ass chain. Next question. A healthy Jake Garcia is like owning a brand new luxury vehicle. I mean, I think y'all should definitely be excited for Jake. It's just my question is if TVD finishes on as hot as he's been, if he finishes that hot, I just think that's an interesting dynamic going into next year.
yeah, I think
Obviously, the fan base is in love with Garcia because a lot of y'all didn't want TVD. I haven't forgot those conversations I had with y'all. A lot of y'all did not want TVD.
And see, I said this.
The thing with TVD is Dan Enos' recruit. He's a pro style quarterback, and a lot of us fans aren't too happy with pro style at the moment right now because we switched to a spread. But nonetheless, if the kid's balling out, I'm rooting for him.
Well, and I said this in the offseason and got killed for it. I said, and I included myself in this. I said, we're all making assumptions about both of these players and ain't seen none of them in nothing but passing drills. Ain't seen them in game one.
Yeah, but that's the only thing you have to judge on until you do get in the game situation. So when we see him in practice and we see him in the spring games and stuff, that's the eye test. It's not like we've seen Tyler Van Dyke. Okay, we're going to see Tyler Van Dyke play a full game. Then we're going to see Jake Garcia play a full game, and we're going to compare them. Because then what the fans are going to do is, okay, well, Jake Garcia game was easier or Tyler Van Dyke game was easier. This line that he played in this game was easier. And it's a never-ending argument.
Well, I mean, that's all of it, though. It's a never-ending argument. I mean, and some of it comes down to exactly what I said in the offseason, too. I have a preference for a pro-style passer over a dual threat.
Yeah, see, I'd rather have a dual threat guy because, I mean, to me, when you look at Jake Garcia, he's a lot more mobile than Van Dyke. Going back to this game this week, Georgia Tech.
I mean, but it's not like Van Dyke can't move, though.
He can move, but he's not as fast. He doesn't have the agility like Garcia does. Now, if you look at this week past, there's a play when Tyler Van Dyke was running to the opposite side of the field, and he was moving in freaking slow motion.
Well, he's deceptively fast because you also have to figure one of his strides is like three of Rooster's. He's covering a lot like Trevor Lawrence did. He's covering a whole lot more ground in one step than a lot of other guys are because he's 6'4", 6'5".
But hey, at the end of the day, Tyler Van Dyke, he playing the way that he playing. The competition for starting quarterback or whatever, if it comes down to him and Jake Garcia, most likely it's going to be leaning towards Tyler Van Dyke because the fans are going to fall in love with what they see, what's happening right now.
Right.
And I also freely admit part of my problem with a dual threat quarterback is, and I've done this watching other players too. Every time you take off, you kind of cringe a little bit, whether people want to admit it or not, because you're wondering, is this going to be the hit that knocks him out?
True. Now, let me ask you this, Slim. This game, Miami versus Florida State, number-wise, what do you think that Tyler Van Dyke is going to put up against the Florida State defense? Is it going to be similar fashion to where he's done the last 3 games, or you think that streak will be broken?
I'm sure he's going to throw a minimum 300 yards. I think it's going to be more like
400. Do you think he'll complete 3 or more touchdowns?
Probably.
Okay, because as of right now, the record for 300 plus 3 touchdowns is held by Florida State's own Jameis Winston. So if he can finish out the next 3 games with those similar numbers, he'll literally outright own it.
I think it's a good bet that he'll get at least 300. Well, here's my question would be though, and y'all say he's 4-2 as a starter.
Yeah.
In the games he lost, I'm assuming he struggled in those games. What was the defense doing that allowed him to struggle.
Well, the two that he lost were his. I mean, because his first start was that FCS team, the one we blew out like 69-0.
Right.
The two that he lost were when Derek King finally went out, Virginia and North Carolina. So that was really his. I really call those his first two starts. And both games, he was slow to get started in the first half. You could tell he was jittery. He had to get settled in. And then he settled in the second half of both of those games and really started lighting them up. So I think those two losses were more, first start period really was against Virginia. And then the second one was his first road start at North Carolina.
He threw like 3 picks in the North Carolina game, right?
Yeah, that's what the stat sheet
2 or 3.
said.
2 or 3.
Yeah,
Something like that.
the last one was batted at the line, and
Two of them were popped up. Well, that last one was batted at the line. One was popped up by a receiver, and then one was just a straight pick.
Okay. I might just ask him because I feel like, again, I said it before about my team. Like, if you have a bad quarterback, we'll make them look good. If you have a good quarterback, we'll make them look great. And if you have a great quarterback, we'll make them look like John Elway. So I expect them to throw for some yards. That's for sure.
Well, I try not to sound too homerish about it, but by his stat, over the last 5 weeks, there's only 2 better quarterbacks in the nation, and that's Sam Hartman from Wake Forest, and the other one was I think that UCLA quarterback. I think is what they said.
Boxing Monster said, Tito White got any film of you dunking? No, but if you go on my Instagram, you can see what I actually looked like in high school, which is nothing that I look like now. I was actually a twig, so maybe you see those, maybe you can believe me then. But of course, I graduated high school in 2007. I'm not sure what the rules are in school nowadays with phones and recording and all that, but literally, if you were seen with a phone when I was coming up, they'll take it and your mom or your pop's going to have to come get it. And if my mom had to come get it, I'll probably never get it back.
Yeah, I remember those days.
No, yeah, I know, right? But no, over this last 5-game stretch, the way they broke it down, I think they said Van Dyke was top 3 quarterbacks in the nation. Rambo was top 5 receivers in the nation. And Jalen Knighton was top 10 running backs in the nation.
I mean, it sounds to me like your offense is hitting, so we'll see.
So what is Florida State going to do to stop Rambo?
And
I don't think we need to do anything specific. I just think make TVD get him the ball.
Because I think, as you guys can see, that's TVD's number 1 receiver. That's who his main go-to guy. So I think if you're going to plan against Miami, you're going to have to try to contain that guy. So whether it's double team or whatever it is.
Well, I don't think we can afford to double team. We'll see. I think I don't know. I think just see how the game starts to play out at first. Because I know Rambo's been kind of hot early or lately. Just see how Miami. I don't know how y'all use them. I don't know if y'all move them around, put them in the slot. I'm not too sure how y'all use them. So, but we're running primarily zone coverage these days. So it's not like we're gonna have a guy specifically set up for Rambo. Just gotta what's the name's gonna have to just beat the zone, find a hole in the zone and beat it. Speaking of your quarterback.
Okay. Ain't no need for individual awards on the sideline. Hell, you have your name on your jersey. That's good enough.
What y'all talking about?
Commentaries showed you out when you can make a play. I'm not quite sure what that's about. Which player, what player is looking for extra attention? Unless you're talking about taking pictures and all that stuff, because we have been seeing that social media era on our sideline. A lot of guys lining up to take pictures. You know, the turnover chain has brought that kind of attention anyway. Yeah,
So D Nice says y'all primarily use Rambo on the outside. So
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, so and then
So he's gonna be lined up with either Jerry and Jones or Brownlee. But
so
with again
Jones
with the way we run, with the way our defense is set up, there's gonna be a lot of there should be. Let me rephrase that. Should be a lot of safety over the top. So I mean, we'll see how they use them.
What defense you guys running? The 4-2-5, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how would you feel about getting Manny Diaz as a defensive coordinator next year to actually run that defense?
Well, I'll take him over what I got.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you forget, man. These Miami fans got a short memory. I mean, they forget that defense has carried this team for 5 out of the last 6 years.
Yeah, and then we watch it go down each and every year because it's so simple to read and break down and
Yeah.
run
You
for
see it
1,000 yards, and then you can
when they
throw for
when they
519 yards on it.
Yeah, you see when that defense spends 45 minutes on the field that they get gassed out. They just can't do it no more.
Hey,
Yeah.
Poe, has Adam Fuller ever gave up 519 passing yards in one game?
I don't think so.
Well,
I don't think so.
Manny Diaz could put that on his
don't think
accomplishments list. Now, have your defense ever gave up 500 and something yard rushing in one game?
No.
Manny Diaz could put that on his award list.
Who'd y'all give up 500? I know the 500 rushing game. I know that game. Who'd y'all give up 500 some passing yards to?
Pitt threw 519 yards on us.
Hey, but that boy over there nice though. So
Yeah.
Pick is
Heisman
nice.
Trophy
Yeah, but this is the Manny Diaz's defense.
Hey, by the way, over all these young players that they think are so great, James Williams and Kitchen constantly getting cooked. They burnt crispy, bro.
Would you rather Gervin Hall?
It don't make a difference, like you said, when they're giving up that many yards.
I mean,
What
at
difference
least
does it
these
make?
guys are tackling. At least these guys are making an effort. I mean, you guys are talking about playing these seniors, playing seniors. And we've been talking about playing the younger guys because they obviously hungry and they obviously want to play and they're giving more effort. And what do we have now? More effort. Because why? Not because Manny decided to play the younger guys. It's because the older guys got injured and then he had no choice.
No, I absolutely agreed with you there. I said, if you ain't going to give no effort, sit your ass on the bench and put the young guys in. We agreed there.
But we saw that from early on with the older guys. They wasn't giving that effort. They was just happy to be on the field.
There were a lot of people that said because of the mistakes that got made that Bubba Bolden wasn't giving effort. Bubba Bolden was giving too much effort because he was trying to do too much.
Now, this is your head coach, Manny Diaz. Apparently, Bubba Bolden's been hurt for so long, but yet he's still starting and plays him. Apparently, his shoulder's been bothering him for what? Since the Michigan State game? And yet he was still starting and being right out there on the field. Bubba Bolden shut it down himself, not Manny Diaz.
So Hurricane Millie said, Pickett's nice, but you don't get 519 yards passed on you. Middle of the field and blown coverages is what happened. So who do we blame blown coverages on?
Players.
Let me ask you this.
I'm asking.
We have Pickett here who goes out and played how many other games? He didn't put up 519 on nobody else. But when he plays Miami, when any decent running back from any team plays Miami,
okay, and
Diaz is a confident builder for any other team.
And who would you say is probably one of the better, if not the best defensive coordinator? I mean, is it fair to say Kirby Smart is? Because I've seen 500 plus yards thrown up on his defense too. Baker Mayfield cooked them.
Okay, but Are you going to throw up 500 and something yard on Kirby Smart and then next week run for 500 and something on him?
You're talking about two different
You're
seasons.
talking about but you're talking about a coach that absolutely makes no adjustments. If they come out in the first half and they're passing the ball as good as they are on us, why do they come out the second half and does the same thing with no adjustments?
Because that question's already been answered. Blown coverages, and that's on players, not coaches.
Oh man! So we are always gonna have to blame it on the players, not coaches.
No,
I'm just asking.
Not at all. I've said I blame Manny for plenty of things that I don't agree with. But I put what I believe is his fault on him, and I'll put what I believe is the player's fault on them.
I don't blame Manny no more for nothing that happened. I blame Blake James for even hiring him to begin with.
I just asked because when you phrase something and you say blown coverage, that to me says that the coverage was something else and the player was something else. Like the player did something outside of what he was supposed to do. Now you can say, oh, it's just Manny called the wrong defense on that play. Then I'm saying, okay. But when you say blown coverage, to me that sounds like the player was out of position on somewhere where he's supposed to be at. Is my point.
Now I got a question for you since you bring that up. Is it or is it not the job of the defense to get the opposing offense into a 3rd and long and then get them off the field? That's what you want your defense to do, correct?
Yeah.
So why is it always that on 3rd down, the middle of the field is always wide open?
That's
why are we sending safeties on delayed blitzes? You know, every time we do that, the middle is wide open and they pick us apart. Why are you still doing it?
Because and that brings me to my point. Hey, that you've harped on time and time again, both Alabama and both Clemson. That defense managed to get both teams into 15-plus 3rd and longs. So obviously it's not the play calling, because that play calling is getting those dominant offenses in the 3rd and long, which is exactly where you want them.
But yet they get first downs. Okay, so is that an offensive thing then? Can we shift this back to Reed Lashley to why the defense is always on the field to have 30 to 40 third downs and all that?
Oh, there are problems with Rhett Lashley too, and you covered one of them. Those stupid 4th and 1 runs up the middle when you know your offensive line can't handle it.
Does Miami have?
Where I think it goes. I ain't got a problem in the world doing that.
Does Miami have any worry about what Jordan Travis brings to the table?
I like Jordan Travis. I do. If he's got a line to protect him, I thought he could be really good.
No, me with Jordan Travis, I'm more afraid of his feet than his arms. I would understand that, yeah. Especially when throwing it deep.
But most of the time,
doesn't seem real accurate to me.
Well, his deep ball is actually his best ball, believe it or not.
Yeah, see, the problem I saw was I could see the throwing ability there, but that offensive line just could not protect him long enough to let receivers get down the field.
I'm just curious of what Miami's thought process is on Jordan Travis. Are they worried about him? I see a lot of Miami fans saying no, they're not worried about Travis.
It depends on how his offensive. If his offensive line stands up, you better be worried about Jordan Travis. But that's a big if.
Yeah,
and I think you agree with that FSU's offensive line is, out of all the suspect positions, that's probably the most suspect.
I think our linebackers are the worst unit on the team. Slim, honestly, our O-line isn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but a lot of our offensive line deficiencies come from the quarterback, believe it or not. I believe your quarterback makes your O-line better or worse, and a lot of things that Travis doesn't do is one of the reasons why he finds himself in the situations that he finds himself in. I'm not saying the O-line's perfect. You're going to have busted blocks. That stuff's going to happen. But Travis has a tendency of rolling out into sacks instead of stepping up in the pocket and making passes.
Yeah.
He has a habit of being late on his reads where the receiver was open, now he's not open. So now the play's not there, and now there's a sack where if he had made that decision a second earlier, it's right there for him. So there's a lot of give and take with Travis.
Yeah. Well, and part of the reason I look at the offensive line is because, for one, how they play for guys like James Blackman too. But I mean, you can even go back to me, the clear, obvious sign where it started to be a problem with the O-line at Florida State was that opening game with Alabama where Deondre Francois went down.
I'm with you there.
Okay, I think OG had a question. This is probably mainly for you, Slim. Whose fault is it that we lose after every bye week? Or whose fault is it to call a timeout to help the other team? Or how about special teams? Whose fault is it that Manny?
Oh, absolutely. That call out, that timeout to help that helped out the other team. You can ask my wife. I'm sitting there yelling at my TV like, "What are you doing, you dumbass?" But at the same time, here's the biggest difference between the way I look at it and you're looking at it. You're expecting great things out of Manny. Not in his second. He's now what, 2.5 years as a head coach. I'm still expecting him to screw up. I expect screw ups. You're expecting perfection. You're expecting him to know everything, what to do in what situation, and that only comes with time.
Hope, is Travis better than Sims at Georgia Tech?
I would argue they're almost the same quarterback. One guy's just 6'3" and over 200 pounds, and he's more durable. The other guy gets banged up a little bit.
No,
I think Travis is more dynamic. I think Travis is more dynamic with his legs. I'm not a big Sims fan though, so as far as the player goes, so I don't know. I don't think there's a huge gap between the two.
I don't think Travis has. I don't think Travis has near as many turnovers as Jeff Sims does.
I think that's true. Travis has done a better job. I'll say that. Travis has done a better job taking care of the football.
Especially last season, Jeff Sims was a machine.
I expect critical thinking from Manny. That's it, and every week he fails.
Now listen, I also agree with the people that say that you shouldn't hire a first-time head coach for their first head coaching job in Miami. I agree with that. But at the same time, it's who we got.
Well,
Panama Jack says Brevin Jordan killed us last year. Tell Adam Fuller to watch out for Mallory.
I want to touch on what Slim just said real quick because I said it earlier. Like, I understand that whole not having a first-time head coach at Miami. But you got to look at what Miami had an inside guy, and they just promoted him. For every Manny Diaz, there's a Jimbo Fisher who had never had a head coaching job, was the offensive coordinator at Florida State, got his first head coaching job at Florida State, and you see what happened.
Well,
so it's like it's hit or miss.
It is, but Jimbo Fisher was also groomed to be Bobby Bowden's successor. Had been there for some time.
He had been there. When did Jimbo get there? I think by the time Jimbo took over, he'd been there 3 or 4 years. So how long was Manny the DC before he took over the job?
3 years.
Yeah.
Similar time frames, I think. So,
and you're right, it can be hit or miss because, Mark Richt's first head coaching job was Georgia. He came in there and had success. Kirby's first head coaching job, obviously, he's had success. But I'm talking about, the rule. I think, guys like Jimbo and Kirby and Mark, those guys would be the exception. And you've even had it at Miami. Butch Davis had never been a head coach before he came there.
All right, so Darnell wants to know 2001 Miami versus 2013 FSU. Who wins?
Oh, God.
Hey man, that'd be a great game to watch.
All I'm gonna say is
It's hard for me to tell you who wins, but I'm gonna say this: let's not act like, because I already know where Miami fans are gonna go with this. Yes, I will say this: that was the most talented player for player. That's probably the most talented team ever assembled, the Miami team. But let's not like at Miami didn't beat Virginia Tech that year by only 2 points, and like they had some games that year that were close. Whereas Florida State, they pretty much blew everybody out the water.
They had a couple of close games, and they were losing that national title game at halftime.
That's the only game that was close. That national title game.
yeah.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Clemson gave them all they wanted. That game was a lot closer than that score indicated.
You said the Clemson game? That game was over by halftime.
Clemson gave Florida State all they wanted that year.
That Clemson game was over by halftime. We forced like 2 straight turnovers in the first 2 series for Clemson. That Clemson game was over by halftime. The only game that had FSU a little iffy was the Boston College game. Boston College stuck with them for a half, and then FSU pulled out at the end and beat them by like another 20 points or something like that.
Tazation Kings, what's going on, boss? You got a great question for you, Pope. Pope, will y'all have enough players to play Saturday because of sickness going around in Tallahassee, or is that just a rumor being made up, basically?
Do we have enough players to play last Saturday? Yes. They're going to play this Saturday. Next question.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure you guys didn't have any more players that end up getting sick. Because, I mean, last week it was 25. None
of those guys missed that game. They actually played that game. That was misreported by the ACC network. The only person that missed the game because of the flu was Travis. Everybody else played that game.
Okay, just want to make sure, because we don't want to drive all the way or fly all the way up there and then get sent back an hour before the game starts.
Stop it.
Next thing you know, we're going to be on Florida State us $230,000 or something.
Stop
and JSU still wants to get paid for the rented stadium.
But I think to that other question, though, that would be an awesome game to watch. There's a lot of talent on those teams, man. You got Ramsey. Think about that. You got like guys like Jalen Ramsey, Jameis Winston, Devontae Freeman, Kelvin Benjamin on one side of the field. You got Clinton Portis and Dorsey, and wasn't Andre Johnson on that team on the other side? Like, imagine seeing Jalen Ramsey and Andre Johnson go at it. That'd be an amazing game to watch. Chris Winkie or Jameis? Jameis all day. The better question is Charlie Ward or Jameis.
You said this dude is funny trying to make excuses for FSU.
I mean, I agree with you. I think it would be a good game.
Who's making excuses for FSU?
I don't know. Certified.
I mean,
I know who certified.
Pope just said they'll be ready. They'll have the players. So they're not making an excuse unless he's talking about somebody in the chat.
You gotta be talking about somebody else. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think y'all will be ready player wise, but I don't think y'all will ever be ready.
I think he was talking about the.
He said you.
You. So who? Is that me or T2Y?
Or
maybe he's talking to Zoe. I don't know who served.
Who's making? Just put in the chat. Who is making excuses for Florida State? Because I don't think I'm making any for him.
I don't know. Say the person's name because I have no idea who he's talking about either.
Said no excuses. T2Y. Mike Norvell will be there. COVID will not protect him. He'll have to buckle down and fight this time. Hey man, I'm pretty sure if Norvell can't be in the game, he could probably go in one of y'all building and yell out the plays. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't make no difference. Okay, so he said I'm making excuses for FSU. What excuses am I making for FSU?
I don't even know what you said.
Yeah, I ain't heard you make no excuses for FSU.
I don't know. Maybe I said something.
I mean, maybe I did because saying the game's going to be. I mean, I think I'm the only Miami fan to say the game's going to be close, but it's just, I mean, look at the
lost too,
history
Joe.
of the series. They're always
I don't know.
Sir Five, can you please put in the chat what the excuse was that I made for FSU? Oh man, T2Y making excuses for FSU. Are you telling me I'm Seminole T2Y already?
What's up, Dub? But I think Darnell, I would take Johnson over Reggie Wayne too.
Yeah, but Reggie Wayne can say this much. He's got a ring. Andre Johnson don't.
Oh, no doubt. I'm just talking about individual talents. I think Andre Johnson was a more talented guy.
Yeah. Well, I think I mean credit to Andre Johnson for sticking with the Texans. You never see players do that anymore, but I think he could have been a lot better somewhere else.
T2Y acting like Dabo talking about some virus crap. We all coming to play. Huh?
No,
Okay,
I think
Dabo.
T2Y was asking a question that somebody in the chat asked. That wasn't.
Okay, so what I said was, are you guys going to basically have the players? So when we come up there won't be no excuse.
Okay.
An hour before the game start, we have to go back home.
I see what he's saying. You was trolling at the end of that, and that's
so he took it as me being no. Listen, last year Dabo traveled down to Florida State an hour before the game started. Game got canceled because apparently a player from Clemson came down who probably wasn't supposed to, but they said that the tests came back and everything was all good. And Norvell didn't want to play the game, so they didn't play it. And Clemson went back home losing their money.
No, it wasn't Norvell that didn't want to play the game.
Well, Florida State administration.
It was the doctors that said that they couldn't play the game.
Okay, so eventually Dabo went home pissed off and did his press conference and said all that. So we just want to make sure that we don't waste our money and resources going up to Tallahassee, seeing that they just had 25 players reported that was sick or whatever, making sure that going up there is we're actually going to play the game at 3:30 and not have to go back home at 2:30.
Look, y'all gonna line up there and dope and catch this L. Just not gonna catch the L, man.
Now, normally the first half of a game is let's say an hour and a half.
Yeah, something like that.
It's possible that Florida State could forfeit the game at halftime. Going into the half like 31-3, was it last year? We might.
That was last year. We ain't talking about last year. We ain't talking about that.
Similar results. So
we ain't talking about that.
I think we all would give Norvell a pass if he were to wave the white flag.
2021. Let's talk about 2021. Let's do that.
But 2020 was so good.
Yeah, well, we passed that. Y'all won 8 games last year too. Y'all ain't doing that this year. So let's talk about 2020.
But I always talk about 2020 because soon as this game is over with and we blow y'all out, y'all gonna be like, all right, next season. Y'all don't want to talk about that.
I'm already like next season, so that ain't saying nothing.
Wait a minute. That's where I got to disagree with you because they went out. Miami's winning 8 games.
Okay, well, they went out.
Title, that's 9 games. They win their bowl game. That's 10 games.
I said the same thing as them, but let's
just say now Manny's gonna win out, and then y'all will be loving Manny again.
Now let's just say this: Manny does win out, yes. Doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna get the 10 unless Pitt and Virginia with the mishaps and stuff. This is what I'm saying. We always got to fall back on another team beating another team. This team losing to that team when we could just outright win and make it there without depending on nobody. That's the same thing I see from Clemson.
You ain't never gonna get there. You're never gonna get there firing a coach every 3 years.
You might be right, but you're never gonna get there when you keep a coach that don't belong for too long. So my thing is,
this is why I don't understand what
the last 6 years is going to be anything.
Now let me say this:
I don't understand what Miami's doing.
For the last 6 years, I watched Clemson walk into the ACC championship with no help from nobody. Every year, what does Miami do? Oh, this team lose, that team lose, this team win, that team win. Why can't we just? We are in the less of the ACC.
But see, that's exactly my point.
think Slim cutting out. I can't hear him.
I think he cutting out too. You still there?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. The last thing we
said,
heard
that's
was
Hey,
exactly
Slim,
my
I actually
point.
take back
You're
what I
fucking-
said earlier. Jimbo was only the offensive coordinator for 2 years before he took over the head coaching job, actually.
okay.
But
So
anyways, sorry about
how
that.
long
you
was
just said
Jimbo
about-
there? How long
hang
was Jimbo there before he flipped Florida State into a national championship?
He took over
Hang on.
in 09, and we won in 13.
Okay.
Or he took over in 10. Took over in 10. 09 was Bobby's last year. And Jimbo was the coach in 10 going forward.
So about 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. But we'll wait 5 years.
Slim dropped off, but
He's back.
oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay. Now, what you just brought up about Dabo is the exact point I'm making. You're focusing on when Dabo already got it together, not the 8 years.
Who's talking about Dabo?
You did. You brought up.
No, we talking about Jimbo.
Hang on. You brought up Dabo and Clemson walking into the ACC championship every year.
Oh,
But
okay.
you're not talking about the 7 years of struggling that Clemson had before they got to that point.
Okay, so we should struggle with Manny Diaz for 7 years till we get to that point.
It may not take that long. You don't know if you're going to fire him.
It may not take 7 years. It might take 10.
Let me jump in this one real quick because I think the difference between that is being a Florida State fan. I think Miami fans would agree. Clemson had never won nothing in 1980. So there was no pressure on Dabo Swinney to really do anything. So they could afford him that time. These schools like Florida State and Miami, man, they want quick turnarounds. I think that's the difference.
I mean, after 20 years, wouldn't you want that too?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest difference.
And guess what? You can want it, but it don't work that way. Short of hiring Nick Saban, you're not getting it.
I would agree with that. Like, it doesn't work that way. But I think.
But we also see other coaches. We also see other coaches out there turning other programs around in less time than Manny Diaz.
Who?
I mean,
name outside of Nick Saban. Name them.
Mel Tucker.
I mean, Mel Tucker. This is his first year, and what he's doing is great. We'll see if he can sustain it. But for year one,
no, we won't be able to tell if he will sustain it at Michigan State because
right.
He'll probably end up at LSU or one of those other jobs.
What are you gonna say if Mel Tucker comes out and goes 7-5 next year? Not a damn thing. You're gonna forget all about it.
If Mel Tucker goes somewhere else and he does that, I'll give Mel Tucker another year and see what he does. Then we'll be like, all right, we was wrong about him.
Well, the Miami fan base.
But we giving Manny Diaz 3 years though. We're talking about giving Mel Tucker 1 or 2. We gave Manny time to show himself. And when somebody show you who they are in year 1, you say, okay, all right. And then when he show you the same thing in year 3, you say, okay, yeah, that's exactly who he is. Bona fide scroll. Like my guy,
Mel Tucker's been
like my guy, what's his name? Stephen A. Smith like to say, Manny Diaz as a head coach is a bona fide screw.
Okay, well, what about year 15 when Nick Saban lost to Louisiana Monroe? Does that make him a scrub then?
That's what people
tell
me.
Why do we keep bringing Nick Saban in this? Nobody is comparing Manny to Saban. Nobody expect that from Manny. Hell, nobody expect that from Dabo Swinney. Why would we expect it from Manny Diaz? And the only coach with 2 championships other than Dabo right now, there's no other coach coaching with 2 other championships. So Dabo Swinney, we're not even comparing Manny to him. Why would we go to the GOAT?
You already have, and I'm comparing equal levels of competition.
I do think that you got to look at
Saban and Manny Diaz's name should never be mentioned in the same sentence.
I think you got to look at the sustainment part of it because a lot of people don't know this. Gus Malzahn had Auburn in the national championship his first year.
That's tough
against Florida State, but he couldn't sustain it in the long run.
That's tough.
So I don't know. Coaching is tricky, man. Coaching is tricky.
All I'm saying is that talent that Manny Diaz inherited.
Everybody's not Nick.
First year
Nick's been able
was
to
not
sustain
a
this.
talent to lose to a FIU. Was not a talent to go 6-7. Was not a talent to get shut out in the bowl game. Lose to Louisiana Tech. That talent was not supposed to be done. Come on, we was going into that game. Everybody had us finishing that season at 9-3, and we went out there and proved them so freaking wrong. 6-7.
I said as soon as they hired Manny, I said our record will be worse than it was in 2018. Because 9 times out of 10, when you hire a new head coach, regardless of talent, you have a worse record than the previous year. And that's every program in the nation.
I'm going to say this. With Manny Diaz, the 2017 results of us beating teams and nail biters, that's what you'll always get. We either going to win by a nail biter or we're going to lose by a nail biter. That's what
Talking about his defense.
And when we do lose to teams with proper talent, with good talent, we will get blown out. North Carolina said, hey, 62 burger, here you go. Clemson said, here's another 42 burger, here you go. Anytime we play a team with decent talent or decent running back, they will kill us.
You can bring that short memory up all you want, but since you want to bring up 2017, that defense is the only reason we won the games we won, because the offense produced nothing.
And where has that defense gone from 2017, Slim? All the way to fucking Bikini Bottom.
Name another coach that doesn't have down defensive years. They all do.
Right now, that defense that Manny's running is underneath Patrick Starr's house.
He said Bikini Bottom.
Like I said, short memories.
We went from being one of the number one teams in creating turnovers to we can't even see the turnover chain no more.
Yeah, but turnovers isn't a stat you should hang your hat on.
That was what Manny Diaz defense was bringing, because when
turnovers,
he gave up big
but turnovers are one of those stats where the ball bounces a certain way.
In 2017, those turnovers was the ones that made us look dominant and scared teams into changing their whole game plan. They're not doing that no more.
Bro, I hear you. What I'm telling you is that turnovers are not a reliable stat because of they're very inconsistent.
And you're totally right. But when Manny Diaz was getting those in games in 2017, we won close game because the defense was bailing us out because the offense was non-existent.
Because of turnovers, correct?
Correct.
So what I'm asking you is take away those turnovers on that 2017 team. What was and I don't know, I'm asking, what was the yards per play? What was the total defensive numbers? Those are more reliable stats than those turnovers.
Couldn't tell you right now.
I'm just off the top of
all
my
I'm
head.
saying
Were
is
they giving up a lot of
turnovers? Those nail biters that we won in 2017 would have easily been losses.
The reason I asked that because, like, if you were giving up a lot of yards but getting turnovers, it was a little bit of mask of what the real deficiencies was as well.
Okay, perfect example. 2017, Miami versus Florida State. Florida State was up 20. Was it 27-7 or 28-7, something like that?
Was that
turnover after turnover? Huh?
Willie's. That was
2019.
That was Willie's first year, I think. Yeah, first year.
That should have been. Was that 17 or 18?
Was it Willie's? No. Willie's game was 27-10. Not Willie.
Yeah, no. He's right. It was the Perry game where he brought us back. That was 2018.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think that's Willie's first game against Miami. I mean, I think so.
Yeah, it was Willie's first game against Miami.
Yeah.
But to your point a second ago, though, total defense, they were number 4 in the country. They were number 1 in tackles for loss. They were number 1 in sacks. They were number 1 in quarterback pressures.
So overall, you had a great defense.
And you know what happened?
On top of the turnovers.
And let me ask you this, Slim. Those players from that 2017 team, who recruited them?
Al or Mark?
Al Golden.
But y'all didn't want Al either.
Some of them were Al Golden. Some of them were Manny.
Who on that team that Manny?
But guess what?
That Manny recruited made any difference on that team that year? Give me a Manny Diaz recruit that did
hang on.
That year.
How many of them on that defense played a single game under Al Golden? That would be none.
Oh man,
So it
listen,
doesn't
I
matter.
don't know how you come up with these excuses for Manny, but hey, listen, if Manny need a PR guy, Slim, you are the man.
No, I just don't change history to suit my facts. That's all. Y'all want
I
to go
love
back and
telling you,
and make something look
Manny
worse
will.
than what it really was,
In some
instead of just looking at
universe,
what it was.
Doctor Strange is going to run the possibilities, and there's one in there where Manny actually wins. But I'm pretty sure there's another million in there that says we don't win nothing with him. So I guess out of the million, we could bank on Manny for that one.
There's a million that says he will. There's a million that says he won't.
Now there's
Guess
a million that said he
Okay.
won't, and there's probably one that says he will.
You ain't never gonna find out. Guess what? Everybody's all hyped up on Mario Cristobal. What is he doing? Nail biter gun against teams that he shouldn't.
All right, well, like I checked, if you check back in Mario Cristobal right now, he's recruiting pretty well, getting players to Oregon. Also, they're sitting in the playoffs as we speak, in the picture for it, at least. If they don't make the playoffs, at least they was contending to be there. Can we say the same for Manny Diaz? Or are we going back to year one now in Manny Diaz's 3-year?
Well, up until
I don't
the
even
very
think y'all
end,
need to talk about this because I don't think Manny going anywhere.
Not at the end of this, not now, but probably at the end of the year. You'll see.
I don't think so. Oh, Slim, you cutting out again.
Slim, you check your connection. You sound like a Decepticon.
Yeah.
Now we can't hear you at all.
I'll ask this question then, because you keep saying that Manny's good for now, but at the end of the year he's done, and you say he's done regardless of what happens. You think he's done regardless of what's okay?
He's done.
My question is, damn, I forgot my question that quick. What was I gonna ask? That quick, I forgot what I was about to say.
There's some things behind the scene that are wrong. Like I said, I don't want to keep saying them because then people's gonna bury me if anything were to slightly change. Let's just say this: Manny Diaz was already fired.
Hold on before I forget my question again.
Big Daddy came in and said, "Hey,"
and he saved him. I know, but let me say this before I forget what I was about to say. Why don't y'all do what LSU did and say Manny's done at the end of the year, but he's gonna finish out the year? Because I'm trying to understand why would Miami, why would y'all not just fire if Manny's a dead man walking? Why not y'all just fire him?
My brain is boiling. Why they don't just cut?
Why not just fire him? Because you can't say it's for recruiting because it ain't like y'all. The recruiting class right now is almost non-existent.
You know what it is?
You can't say it's for recruiting. So why not just say Manny's fired now and move on? If Manny's really a dead man,
they're not banking it on recruiting. They're banking it on the kids that's in the locker room now bailing.
But there's rumors that might happen anyway.
Exactly, and I'm thinking 2000 this year coming up, whoever comes in gonna have to hit that portal.
And correct me if I'm wrong.
Obviously, the recruiting is not here. We're 60th in the country right now. We got 8 guys that's committed. 2 of them's already on flip mode, if not pretty soon.
And you correct me if I'm wrong, T2Y, but Manny, excuse me, and this is just me hearing things as a Florida State fan, but a lot of the kids are unhappy with the way Manny does the players in terms of playing favorites, right? Am I right or wrong on that?
Senioritism, yes. He plays.
Okay, so if that's the case, they don't like Manny anyways. Fire him. They either gonna transfer or not. If they don't like Manny, fire him. Because if he stays, they might transfer anyway. Like to me, it just don't make sense. None of it makes sense.
You want to know why it doesn't make sense? Because it's all a bunch of BS rumors. That's why. Like I said.
So every
the rumors of
every Miami YouTuber is just lying.
The rumors of Ty Smith being on the sidelines and being here for the past couple of years, for the past couple games or whatever, and all this. Remember, his job is in Seattle at the Seahawks, but he's here now. This weekend, you just seen him on the sideline. Listen, then there's a report came out that Blake James is not going to be here at the end of the season and stuff, but until stuff actually happens and it goes into motion, nobody believes it until it happens. So if you keep preaching it and it's not happening right away, nobody believes it. And I'm not the only one that's saying this. There's other guys that's getting the same thing, and they're all saying it, but until it happened, nobody believes none of us. We're just a bunch of YouTubers that come up with conspiracy theories.
Right.
And then when it happens, like, oh, okay, like, share, subscribe.
Yeah.
No,
I'm just asking.
That's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I've listened to every single one of them, and you know what they're doing? They're reading players' tweets and trying to decrypt them like there's some secret message hidden inside. And you know what 3/4 of them are doing? Tweeting song lyrics.
Like they got
they got some damn Dakota ring. Well, what he's really trying to say here is, well, when he says this, he really means this. Man, miss me with that shit.
Okay, let me ask you this: How credible do you give credibility to Streeter from Footballville?
Very little.
Very little. So you mean a guy that's in the facility, the guy that's in there all the time, around the players, around the coaches, and all of that? You give him no credibility at all.
No, Streeter's around high school and Pop Warner ball.
And he also talks to all of the kids' parents and stuff like that. So he gets no credibility at all.
Guess what? You want to know how much I care what some player's parent says? Jack shit. I could give 2 shits less what a parent's got to say.
Okay, so if you can't take him as a credible guy to say this or say that, I don't need to say nothing.
And outside of that, Streeter's in the press conferences listening to coach speak. I don't care about that neither.
Okay. Like I said, when you have guys that's there and they're getting information and other guys are passing it to them and this, that, and the third, and then they say it and then it comes true 90% of the times, okay, I'll take their word.
What's come true? Nothing. Absolutely nothing Streeter has said has come true.
I mean, earlier on in the year, Streeter said that Jalen Knighton was going to be suspended for 4 games the beginning of the season before it even happened. 2 weeks early, I said it. Everybody came down. Oh, T2Y, you don't know nothing, and he ain't gonna say how you get this news. Give me all your sources. Give me 3 sources that told you this. And guess what? Game 1 come around, he's suspended for 4 games.
Literally the same day Streeter said it on YouTube, it was in the Miami Herald. So stop it.
See,
Slim got a rebuttal for everything.
You know, I'm telling you, you can't say nothing. You can't tell Slim nothing until it actually happened in front of his eyes. If I came out today and told Slim that, hey, Manny Diaz farted at the press conference, until the video come out and show him farting at the press conference, Slim would tell me, no, he didn't fart at his press office. You're just making it up. That was just a bottle in the background or something.
Real simple. I watched Streeter's video, and it was already up in the Miami Herald. I mean, it's as simple as that.
When I put the video out, and I'm going to tell you what the fans came into, and all those comments are still in there, they're saying, T2Y, where did you get this information? I've searched everywhere. Not one article is out about this. Not one person said anything about this. And it's in the comment section. Go back to that video, and you'll see it for yourself.
What video?
Nobody. The video about Jalen Knighton being suspended. Before we even played Alabama, 2 weeks before that.
I know, once again, I watched Streeter's video when he said it. I went immediately there, and it was up on the Miami Herald. What do you want me to tell you? It was already up.
But that's what I'm telling you. I came out 2 weeks before that. Streeter said it the day before or whatever, but he had already put the information out.
Hey, some people are defending Streeter in the chat, but some people are defending Slim too. Some people say Slim's telling the truth.
Listen, if Streeter came and told me anything about that program, I'm taking his word for it. This dude don't come out here and just lie and make shit up.
Oh, I'm sure he hears things from other people, but you also have to take information, fact about what a particular story, and opinion about a particular story, and separate the two. There are opinions of Streeters I agree with. There are opinions of Streeters I disagree with.
Well, like I said, when it comes to certain things, when he says it and he put it out there, I believe him, because I don't believe this guy's gonna come out and make up some shit when he don't have to. This is a guy that's on the scene. If Streeter came out here and told me, like I said, that Manny Diaz was at the press conference and he did that and the third, I'm gonna believe him.
You've never heard me say Streeter's making anything up, and I don't believe Streeter's ever made anything up. Once again, I do think he talks to people. I said that from the jump.
This guy says Slim thinks he knows more than the credential media with heavy connections into the program. Not only Streeter said it, but so Manny Navarro, so did Gary Foreman. So all these guys connect just line.
No, I think they're giving their opinion on something, and I disagree on the opinion.
Thank you, Alejandro. Flo is a great source too. If you don't know, shout out to Miami Flo. Make sure y'all check him out. Dude does a great, phenomenal job. Gets great information, and he's never led us wrong.
Well, yeah, he has, but anyway.
Oh my God! When has he led us wrong, Slim? Let us hear it.
I love this.
Let me hear it. I want to hear it.
By the way, this is supposed to be Florida State versus Miami, but we watching this Miami on Miami crime right now.
Yeah, ain't it though?
You know what I mean? Hey, time out, Slim. Time out. You know why Miami is going at Miami? Because we don't have an opponent next week.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Next week, but we talking about this week.
Oh.
We ain't got an opponent until next week.
I like that. That was good.
Whatever. Y'all continue. I'm loving this. Keep going.
Now, what was you asked? I'm sorry. You threw me off.
Man, Sniper says Flo is a better source than Streeter. Hey. All right. Well, CJ's asking for the link, so CJ, the link is in the chat.
Flo has said stuff I've agreed with. He said stuff I've disagreed with. And it's not even something against any individual person, but when you have 25 people on YouTube all saying we got some inside works and they're all saying different things, somebody full of shit.
Somebody lying, right?
Slim, you heard me loud and clearly, right? I don't have a source.
I didn't say you.
I know. I'm just saying, but you heard me say it loud and clear. I don't have a source.
Yeah. No, I watch some of Flo's videos. I don't watch them all. The biggest thing that left me scratching my head that he said was, back when everybody was talking about Mario all the time, he started talking about, well, Miami could get out of paying Mario's buyout by Mario basically stepping down the same way Mark Richt did. And contracts don't work that way. I mean, that's not at all.
He wasn't wrong about that, because if Mario decided he wants to leave Oregon and leave that money, he can do so.
No, he can't. Not and go to another program. No, he can't.
Yeah, there would be a stipulation. I'm don't know his contract. This is me talking from the outside. I'm pretty sure there's a stipulation in his contract that says if he was to step down, he'd have to wait X amount of years before taking another job.
That's how Mark Richt was able to do it, because he's not going to coach another program. He's retiring.
Right.
Okay. Well,
that's usually how those things work.
Like I said, we'll see how it all work out.
And hey, I was a big Mario guy, and like I said, he's made me look like a fool. Now we'll see how it goes.
Hurricane fan, the link is in the chat. You can click on it if you want. The link is in the chat.
I thought CJ was trying to hop in.
Yeah, I see.
Get concussion protocol in here.
Alejandro said that's a good point, Slim.
And like I said, I'm not taking any shots at anybody. A lot of it, like I said, there's some facts in there and there's opinions in there, which is how a lot of this goes. And some of the opinions I agree with, some of the opinions I don't.
All right, so CJ, what's going on?
CJ.
What up, protocol?
Listen, first of all, I want to get down to the nitty gritty. That's number one. Number one, y'all said King was the quarterback. But now you see you got a passing quarterback, a real quarterback in the TVD. But I was wrong about King, right? Okay, but you know TVD.
Hang on.
I was wrong.
You
I
were
was
wrong.
wrong. How I was wrong? How I was wrong?
Because you're talking about an injured King that can't play.
Slim, stop it. First of all, King is not a great passer. You see TVD coming in, slinging that thing in, getting it to different wide receivers. King couldn't get it though.
Yes,
Let's
he
knock
could.
it up. Well, how?
Stop it.
How? Tell me how.
There ain't no need to tell you how he did it.
So you telling me the COVID-19 season with an asterisk on top of that was the season that King shows you something? The man's legs was more accurate than his arm was.
His arm's plenty fine accurate.
Oh hell no! So you would take King over TVD right now? That what you saying?
No, I think TVD is better, but y'all trying to make out like King is a terrible passer.
But you just said King was a better quarterback, sir.
No, I didn't.
So now you didn't.
No, I said King is a lot better than you're making him out to be.
No, I never know. Wait, first of all, I said Perry was a better quarterback than King. Oh, don't make me get my skip beta.
King ain't never gonna wear a Miami uniform again, y'all.
Hey, listen, I'm glad. I'm gonna say it. I'm glad. I'm happy.
And he's still talking about Perry, and he ain't never gonna wear a Miami uniform.
Hey, but guess what? He doing better than what we doing. I'm just being honest because he got an award. He's in the fight for an award to get the best quarterback in the league.
Ain't it, Peter?
I'm just saying.
Wait, best quarterback in his conference? Great. That's like getting the bronze medal in the Special Olympics.
Okay, but what is our quarterback?
So how many Miami fans would take a healthy King over a healthy TVD? Because I'm gonna be honest with you personally. I don't know if a healthy King ever looked like the Tyler Van Dyke y'all seeing right now.
Thank you.
And I agree with that. All I've ever said is King is a hell of a lot better than CJ tries to make him out to be.
I never said King was good.
Billy said he would take a healthy King.
What?
Over TVD. I'm not.
Wow.
I don't know what he sees there personally. I wouldn't
take King over TVD.
No. Okay.
No.
I don't know what he sees there, but okay.
That's delusional. Slim, put him in concussion protocol.
What's his name? Who said
Hurricane
that?
Millie.
Hurricane Millie in the concussion protocol.
Let's protocol.
He don't have to miss this week's game. He got to go through the procedures.
Wow, that's amazing. King is better than TVD. Hey, TVD is more of a quarterback than King will ever be.
I think Hurricane Millie on an island on this one because everybody in the chat pretty much saying TVD.
Listen,
I don't know what Hurricane Millie see that everybody else don't see.
I don't know.
And don't get me wrong, I like King. I think King is a dynamic player.
Right.
I mean, what he's put on film at Houston and at Miami, he's dynamic, no doubt about it.
I think King is more of a dynamic athlete, dynamic wide receiver, dynamic.
I think he's a much better passer than you give him credit for, but he's not on a TVD level, no.
You think he's a better passer?
I have seen him thread the needle right between a corner and a safety, and it was absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. And it was right over the middle, too, which a lot of people say he can't.
Man. But how consistent is that passing act? I mean, I just want to know. How consistent is it?
Well, how consistent was that offensive line that was trying to protect?
This is like a
I mean, if you have people blitzing, because they know you got more of a mobile quarterback that can only really run. I think we can point out what it is. If you have a more mobile quarterback than he is passing, of course you can stack the box and you can get more people in front of that line. So I'm just saying.
All right, CJ. What else you want to get off your chest, man?
I don't like King playing quarterback.
We don't want to talk about
King should play wide receiver.
DJ,
he should play wide receiver. If you go back, let me tell you something. If you go back to Houston his freshman year, his
He's
sophomore
gonna be
year.
playing in Canada next year. It don't matter.
Hey,
Yeah, he
hey,
gonna play for the
hey,
Africans. You know, he gonna play for the
hey,
Africans. He ain't gonna play for Canada. Yeah.
what's number 2, CJ? Move on beyond that.
Yeah. What else? What else you got on your chest?
I got on the tell Manny Diaz is a micromanagement head coach. He sat there. Don't get me wrong. Rhett Lash love to run the ball up the middle every damn third down. Sure enough. But where did you learn that from? Just like most of the players that Manny has been coaching, far as leading. Hey, look, we're mediocre. If we win by 3 points, because guess what? My whole mind frame is I'm Cuban. No offense. I'm on my Warren Sapp shit right now. Excuse me.
Hey, Q,
I'm Cuban. I like to play. I like soccer. So let's kick field goals all the fucking time. Let's do that. Let's get the game where we can control the goddamn clock and kick a field goal to win the game. That's the mind frame of Manny Diaz. That's just how it is to me. And Rhett Lashley. Now I understand you gonna say what you're gonna say, but Rhett Lashley has been caught up in that bullshit. And I'm gonna say like what I'm gonna say. Like he's been caught up in that mind frame. Let's play conservative and let's get this field goal out the way. Because who you know has a kicker that has a fucking sleeve on his arm and the freshest cleats on the fucking team? You tell me that.
CJ, what are you talking about?
All right,
Listen, listen.
Hang on. I'm going to backdoor agree with CJ. Rhett Lashley does have some of those tendencies, but it's not from Manny. It's from somebody Seminole TV brought up a little while ago. And I said this before Rhett Lashley ever came in. His entire high school career, his entire college career, his entire coaching career, up until 3 years ago, that man was up under Gus Malzahn.
Facts. Auburn University.
And Gus Malzahn, in Uncle Lou's famous words, is an average PE teacher at best.
I'm not a big Gus guy myself, so.
But I'm telling you, Pope. I'm telling you right now, Pope. You go back and look at any Miami game.
Mm-hmm.
When has our kicker have a sleeve?
Why does that matter?
No, I'm just listen.
What are we talking about?
Listen. No, I want to point it because it's a significant thing. This is a significant thing. See, people don't pay attention. Listen, you have to pay attention to the small shit because at the end of the day, that's what if your head coach literally thinks your kicking game is what's going to win you the game, that's the strategy he's going to go with.
But what that got to do with him wearing the sleeve, bro?
Because when have you seen?
Hang on, CJ. Let's be honest about coaching here for a second.
CJ on them ports tonight.
No, I'm just saying. Think about it. If you look at Borgales got a sleeve and he got the orange cleats, and he has the freshest cleats out of anybody on the team. You can't tell me Manny doesn't pay attention to that kicking game. Bro, that's his main thing.
Dustin Hopkins used to be known for wearing the gold cleats at Florida State. Like that, kickers do stuff like that. That ain't nothing new.
All right, Seminole team. I'm sure you can back this up.
I'll try.
And if anybody's being honest, they can back it up too. If you're down to a minute and a half and all you need is a field goal to win the game, 90% of coaches are going to run that clock out and kick the field goal.
I'm not saying that, Slim. What I'm saying is,
I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I'm not.
You guys, pause for a second, guys. Williams, thank you for the $3 donation. Appreciate that, boss. Didn't come with a message, so here you go. I'll keep it short so these guys can get back to this debate.
I like it. I like the guitar thing.
I actually like that too. Black sure knows say you out there looking like a Madden kicker. You got a visor and everything on, huh?
Yeah, like what is all that for? Like you only there to kick a goddamn field goal. Kick the field goal.
And actually, I'm gonna hit you with some fake news, CJ, because he's been wearing some pink cleats.
Boy, CJ hot about that sleeve, boy.
No, I'm not hot about it. No, what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, you can actually tell that Manny really wants to rely every game on that field goal kicker.
I
No,
feel
think
you.
about
I just don't know where the sleeve come in at though.
I was just saying, look, hey, far as Miami, what field goal kicker at the University of Miami, all history, you seen a field goal kicker with a sleeve and the freshest cleat out of anybody on the team.
Uh-huh.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is our kicker got his mustache got its own profile.
Ain't y'all talking about the kicker or the punter?
Now the part of the hey,
Because
listen,
y'all punter is like,
Gallus.
ain't y'all
Corey
punter like
Gallus.
30 years old or something like that?
No,
listen, he might be.
he's 28.
Listen, Haley might be 60 years old. I don't care. He's before the freshmen and stuff got in, the younger players got in. He was the best thing on the team, and that's facts.
The punter.
I don't care what nobody say.
The
My
punter.
question when it comes to that dude, why ain't he playing linebacker? He's like 45.
He might be 60. I don't know. He old as shit. I can tell that much.
All right, so CJ, you had a problem with King. You got a problem with y'all kicker. What else? What else you got a problem with, CJ? Come on, keep it coming.
I got a problem with Manny Diaz micromanaging his coordinators and his position coaches.
You think he gonna macromanage his coordinators against Florida State?
Me personally,
How you feel about this game? How you feel about the game Saturday?
I think what CJ is trying to say is that Reed Lashley gonna come out, probably go up 21-0, and then Manny's gonna dial it down, and y'all will come back, and then we'll end the game by 3.
No, I actually think, and Slim, go ahead and get ready for the concussion protocol, all that bullshit. Go ahead and get ready for it. I actually think Florida State gonna come out swinging and knock the shit out of our ass the first couple quarters.
Uh-oh.
And because I say that, the reason I say that, now this is listen, hold on, wait.
I gotta give the treatment, CJ.
What stupid ass?
Don't get mad because he's telling the truth.
Yeah, you
can't. Listen.
On Florida State,
now listen, no. Listen, the reason why I say that, and everybody in the chat might disagree with me, if the 20 players come back, I feel that way because they play harder. They really do. They play harder than what we do. I'm just saying what it is. They really do play harder. Now, if
fans, we done lost CJ.
No. I'm not saying that. Listen, I'm just saying.
Somebody said
listen,
CJ drunk.
Listen, I've been drinking. Listen, but listen, the thing is,
Irking jerk.
Listen, I didn't Irking jerk. It was
a watermelon.
I ain't drinking a watermelon. That's gay stuff. Listen, I was drinking Jack Daniels. But listen, the point is that
hang on, this man over here drinking some watermelon Smirnoff, talking this bullshit.
No, I'm drinking. I don't no Slim. I'm drinking Jack Daniels, some hard as shit. But listen, my thing.
Hey, I want to say something.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, the reason.
Hold on, CJ. Let Todd get in there.
Oh, hey, Todd,
I'm a big
man?
Florida State. Hey, I'm a big Florida State fan. I know this is a big rival game. It's always been a nuts. But man, I'll tell you what, our teams are so bad. They must have formed one team and be called Tampax. They get many guys for one period, and other strings will be pulled. Facts.
Oh,
Where that come from?
Well, damn, that's true.
Where that one come from?
All right, CJ, continue, CJ.
And Florida State play like they played against Notre Dame, and they play like with the heart. If they play like that, I can see them winning. But if they don't come out like that, then we should just win by 2-3 touchdowns. But other than that,
2-3 touchdowns. Right.
Yeah, by 2-3. I mean, we regress. Underneath Manny, we regress on everything.
We call it Tampax. One period, another string. Oh my!
I gotta remember that. That was good.
I just got one question though. Who's gonna be the head coach of Tampax? Is it gonna be Mike Norvell or Danny Diaz?
Shit, that's a great question. Y'all tell me.
Manny.
Well, like I said, whoever wins the game is going to be more happier than 10,000 drunken Irishmen on St. Patty's Day. And the other one's going to say, back to the drawing ball next year. Now, if I was Florida State, if I had a can of common sense and give it to Michael Norvell, I'd go out and get Ratcliffe from Oklahoma. And then we might have a quarterback next year. And we just got to recruit our butts off. Hell, if we don't, we have to go donate to Jerry's kids. I don't know, man. This rival just like we're just not as like they used to be. Bloods and guts decide what team's going to win the national championship. But now this year it's like
that actually is a thought, going and getting Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma. That's actually not a bad idea.
I would. But you know, sometimes Norvell I'll tell you what, Norvell, Dillingham, and Fulham have two brains. They're both, one is lost and the other one's trying to find it. That is the fact. I'll tell you what, they're about more worthless. They're about as more worthless as a normal dog in a frisbee catching contest. I swear to God.
Man, I just came in to say one thing. I had to come outside. Damn, what they talking about, CJ? Talk your shit, CJ.
And OG,
Thank you.
You came to battle. You came to battle, CJ. Just talk your shit, CJ.
Hey, yo!
is that OG?
Talk about it.
Yo!
That's OG. That was OG.
OG had to come in here just to stir up.
Hey, yo! My dog got my back.
Man lives to stir the pot. I swear to God.
That's OG.
Hey, you know what sucks for me living in Big Ten country, okay? I never seen more crybabies than Notre Dame fans, Iowa Hawkeye fans. Man, those guys, Hawkeyes choked 2 games in a row. I have to deal with Wisconsin Badgers. But you know what sucks about it? They always talk about Wisconsin, and I always say, how about that Citrus Bowl when we kick the dog crap out of you guys?
Damn.
You know, I got all these fans around here.
What year was that? Cause you know they always say Miami fans live in the past. I want to see how far back this goes.
CJ, you want that mid?
Now I got to admit,
No, sinus infection.
Probably the second Fisher took head coach.
Spice and Newports.
Listen, man.
They killing CJ in the chat.
Well, you know, let's think about we have
between setting out.
a lot. There's so much talent's been in and out of these 2 conferences. Out of these 2 teams, excuse me. A lot of Hall of Famers.
I got to admit, I feel this guy's pain a little bit. Living in Memphis, you know, I'm in the heart of SEC country. You got Ole Miss an hour and a half away. I got the University of Memphis right down the road. It's terrible. It's just downright terrible.
You should bring me some Corky's barbecue.
Hey, Memphis barbecue, you can't beat it.
Oh, give me some Corky's, man. I'll be more happier than 2 skeletons having sex
What else we got?
on the 10 ruffies and 10 Kansas condoms.
CJ,
Man, Florida Kane says, "Who's that? Talking Peter from Family Guy."
All right, CJ, number 4.
Let me tell you something, Hurricane Billy and everybody else. When I sit there and I told y'all, and we get a real quarterback at all, a true quarterback, you'll see the ball aired out a lot more, and it'll get there. But when you got King, everybody like, you hate no King. No, he's just more of an athletic person than he is a quarterback. That's all I was saying. Now you see the difference between a TVD and a fucking King.
Well, and I'll say this too, and I said it during the off season. They're going to call different plays for different quarterbacks depending on the quarterback's skill set.
Exactly.
Each quarterback's going to have a different skill set, so you call plays to accentuate each of their skill sets.
CJ, I think.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing.
I think TVD better than Perry.
I'll tell you one thing.
Hell no. See, look, you gotta go to the state now.
I know you about to
you gotta go. Oh, he's been talking about Perry now. You're not talking about Perry.
Hey, I got TVD over Perry.
CJ don't came in here and turned this thing into comic view.
Bro,
but skill. Listen, but skill. See, they told me that goddamn King was the guy that turned around with his leadership. But why did King want to keep playing when he was injured? That sounds selfish to me.
Okay, but we ain't talking about King. We're talking about Perry.
I mean, they all want to play, though. That's like saying, why did Jalen Waddle want to get out there on one foot and play? All of them want to play.
Yeah, they want to play, but at the same time, if you're a leader, You gonna make the best thing for the team, like the best decision for the team, not yourself.
I mean, no, that kid, he gonna want to play. That man trying to get that money. You know
And
what I'm
that's
saying?
selfish. That's selfish.
That's what they play for, to get that money.
Well, he can get the money when he get the NFL if he stays on the team.
Who get who to the NFL?
If King gets on I doubt King stays on the team. He gonna be practice squad at best.
Yeah, I don't know if he make it to the NFL, but
yeah, I don't
my
think so.
point
either.
was he was trying to get there.
I'm not going to say he can't because I've seen Frank Gore blow out both of his knees, and that man's still in the NFL. So
well, Frank, come on, you can't compare Frank Gore to no damn Derek.
I'm not.
Come on now.
All I'm saying is I'm not going to say somebody can't do it because that's a man that blew out both of his knees before he ever got to the NFL, and now he's a grandpa as far as running back.
Yeah, that's true.
But he still has the he's like the third or what is he, like the fourth, fifth rushing.
So CJ,
record?
did you think that Terrell Owens was selfish when he played on one leg in the Super Bowl?
Didn't they win?
No, they lost it, but he tried.
But who else? Who was backing him up? I don't even know the backup name.
Ain't the point.
Who the backup?
The man was trying to win the Super Bowl. Was he?
We ain't talking about NFL. We talking college.
It don't matter.
It doesn't matter. You got a whole goddamn 80 something record, whatever roster compared to the damn 53 man roster. It's a difference.
Man, it says Frank Gore is a free agent. I see Frank Gore is supposed to be fighting.
I'm about to say, Frank Gore about to be in a boxing match, right?
With Williams.
Yeah, I saw that.
Darren Williams.
Yeah, I saw that. That's interesting.
I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, it's on TV right now. Frank Gore named as Darren Williams' opponent.
Shouldn't it be December 18th?
I don't remember the date.
That's a trip.
Yeah, December 18th. It's December 18th.
I would assume
he'll spend 50 years in the league. Now he's going to be a boxer.
This it's crazy.
Man,
it's crazy.
I'm gonna assume that if he boxing though, is his football career.
But Pope, I still blame you though, Pope. You the reason.
What I do?
You said they'll say give Manny some more time. You and
look
Slim.
what happened, y'all.
You and Slim. Y'all both on cuss protocol for that shit.
No,
you and Slim.
Look what happened. Y'all beat two ranked teams in a row. Y'all
you and Slim.
So who was right? Me and you.
Hang on.
I just remembered.
Hang on a second. CJ, if what I said is going to happen comes true, what have you got to say?
I ain't said, listen, let me tell you something, Slim. And you guys T2Y this. I told T2Y, made a day in OG. I said, fuck it. Let's go ahead and give Manny another year. I tell you that. Give him another year.
So how's it my fault?
And this is something, and I made the same comment about Norvell earlier, and that's why I can't see where you and T2I keep bringing it back to this. It ain't nothing to do with Manny. I think, especially a first-time head coach at a big program, needs 4 or 5 years to get it right.
Slim, you got to go back to where you say "I think" because you went blank after that.
Yeah, you cut out after "I think."
I said I think every coach, especially a first-time head coach, needs 4 to 5 years to learn what he's doing. Yeah.
So you're saying Willie Taggart should still be at Florida State right now?
I don't like I said, outside of going 1-11, 0-12. You shouldn't be talking at all about firing a coach in his first few years.
All right, so
I
I guess Willie Taggart should still be at Florida State.
I mean, hell, if we was gonna get what we get, we might as well have kept him. Anyway.
But I mean, be honest. Short of say somebody like Nick Saban, who's going to come in there and turn it around faster? Honestly, nobody.
So you're saying Florida should keep Dan Mullen all the way through?
I think Florida should keep Dan Mullen to the end of time.
What the hell? If we playing against them, I don't blame you for saying that. But what the hell? Like,
no, and I've been clear about this before. Florida State's a rival, so I'm going to talk shit and I'm going to hate on Florida State. I have a lot more respect for Florida State than I do Florida.
I agree.
And here's why. and a lot of people tend to lose this just looking at, getting hyped up over the game. It's a rivalry game. If it wasn't for Florida State being what they were, Miami wouldn't have been what they were either.
All right, hold on a second. Chuck Mobeer with the $5 donation. Manny Diaz, New King, and Bolden were hurt, and he kept playing them. Anyway, he doesn't give a damn about his players. Fire him, his daddy. Fire Blake. Hey, I agree with you 100%. Get them all out of here. But hey, appreciate that, boss. This is hate week, so you get. I'm gonna give you both of them.
Dang. But Shante lit him up.
Yeah, boy. Hopefully we see some of that this week.
Hell no.
Minus the targeting.
Please do, so you can get your ass ejected out the game.
You know what?
Oh, it's going to be a demolition derby for sure.
I think if all our defensive guys, the starters, if all of them get ejected, Florida State might have a chance in this game.
Never gonna have a chance regardless.
I just know one thing. If Florida State DBs turn their head around, it's gonna be something serious.
So what you trying to say?
Because TVD literally puts it right there where you can pick the bitch off.
No, he
Be
doesn't.
honest.
So now you don't like TVD?
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Bro, it sounded to me like you saying TVD trash.
Stop right there, because I saw that comment earlier, CJ. I've seen in the comment section. And this is something a lot of people don't pay attention to. And I've seen this comment made. Well, the receiver had to stop, turn around, and get the ball. That's thrown to that position on purpose, so there's absolutely no way a defender can pick it off. That man does anything but put the ball in danger.
Hold on. Miami was playing the Big Ten teams and Notre Dame and the Big 8 teams. Florida State needed us. We didn't need them. Oh, shit.
Dante just sound like he's sad. He just a sad man.
I'm
because Florida State was playing Notre Dame as well.
I'm gonna be honest about Florida State here for a minute. For long before anybody was talking about Nick Saban, Bobby Bowden finished 15 years in a row in the top 5.
And the caveat off of that, Bobby made his name by going up to Michigan and playing the Michigans and the Nebraskas. Like Bobby started that whole go and play anybody, anywhere, at any time. Like that's how Florida State built its program up in such a short amount of time. So
yeah, Florida State's and I appreciate that, but something somebody ain't gonna do, because I'm gonna get on your ass, is badmouth Bobby Bowden. That man's got a lot of respect coming from me.
To say we needed, and I'm not saying we didn't need Miami, but to say we needed them and they didn't need us, it's like Florida State was going out there and playing everybody, bro. So stop.
Nah, shout out to Bobby Bowden, man, because at the end of the day, who's going to give us all them wide rights and wide lefts? Let's be real.
Well, hey, I told Alabama fans, I said, really and truly, their favorite coach ever. Their favorite team ever.
If you look at the Gators, Florida State stood their ground. The Gators ran with they never mind. They ain't gonna hurt you.
I told an Alabama fan before the beginning of the season. I said your favorite team should be Miami, because nobody be talking about Nick Saban, because if it wasn't for Miami, Bobby Bowden would have 15 national championships.
I just want to say this, and I'm going to get the hell off, because it's the truth. The new Miami is mediocrity. A win is a win. And comparing coaches to what we have right now to save a coach ass. That's all I want to say, and I'm gone.
All right, CJ.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
No, DJ gonna run off because I'd put his ass in concussion protocol because I'd tear that argument to pieces.
CJ about to go sip some more and smoke some more
Hey,
pork.
CJ, if you want to come back in here for an encore, the link is in the chat.
Man, DJ, you better go sit down with your little watermelon Smirnoff and get the hell on somewhere.
Damn. I just like this, man. This is hilarious. I just like how we just shit talk all the time.
Chuck Mo Beer says, how do I feel about FSU D-line I mean, I guess I would revert that question to Miami because I feel confident in our D line. My question is, do y'all feel confident in y'all O line?
Here's what I think we need to do to solve the problem next year. All the ACC refs need to go back to refereeing school and get some common sense.
I mean, I agree with you about the refs. The refs, ACC refs are terrible.
I mean, when it comes,
yeah, they are. The ACC's referees are terrible. I mean, look at that holding call they missed with Syracuse and Florida State.
I mean, look at that safety they missed in that pit game. Like, just
I
ridiculous.
don't remember that one.
Oh.
I mean, I'll say this: refs are terrible, and most people make the argument that college football should have full-time refs like the NFL. But has anybody looked at NFL officiating? It ain't no better.
I hear you.
No.
Listen, Florida State. Only thing I can ask you guys is, when we beat y'all 60-0 at home, please don't do what Tennessee does and throw mustard on the field.
Oh, Lord.
Now, you know what? You guys have spears up there, so please don't do that. That's dangerous.
Oh.
I wish we might throw backpacks at y'all or something. But I'm about to get off myself, T2. I got it. Been on.
Yeah, we've been on here a minute. I think it's about time to wrap it up. Oh man, thank you, CJ, for the comic relief.
Oh, don't forget about me. Come on, dude.
Oh man, thank you too.
Don't forget about Todd.
I mean, I like you too, TY2. You kind of look like you look like big street money down there in Miamiville.
Yeah, but I don't know who that is, but he must be a cool dude.
Hey, just remember, I just learned out how I keep hurricanes out of my front yard. I put up goal lines.
Oh, oh man! And if you want to keep the nose from down there, just put up a couple field goals.
Well, that's true too.
Oh man, make sure you put them wide right of your house though.
Hey, I seen you went wide left. Oh yeah, you got your kicker got to learn how to block an extra point too. You know, remember, your kicker's got to make Let me see. They blocked the extra point.
Hey man, DB's got to learn how to DB's got to learn how to tackle guys running for the end zone.
I got an honest question before these two Florida State fans get off here. Have y'all got y'all a real engine to put on that damn horse yet?
Well, yeah, I got a top fuel one. What do you want?
No, I need a real engine on that show pony. Next time y'all come.
Let's just hope they do a real Indian search and not what Miami did when hiring Diaz.
Well, first of all, they're not Indians; they're Native Americans.
I'm gonna call them an engine. I'm gonna call them like I want to call them.
Now you're being racist.
I don't care. It'll be all right.
I'm about to get out of here, T2Y. I got it 34-30 Florida State, and I'm out.
34-30, okay.
I'll holler at y'all later, man.
Later, guys. It's nice meeting you. Later, bye.
All right, appreciate you, Todd. All right, so my score prediction for this game, and I want yours too before you go, Slim. Actually, you can go first.
All right, I'll go first. Since they gonna keep trotting old Daniel Boone out there on that show pony with that flaming toothpick, we're gonna have to put a whooping on them like we did last year. So you know what? They're gonna mirror their score from earlier in the year, 69-0.
Damn. So we're gonna treat them like an FCS?
No, we gonna treat them the way they deserve to be treated. They finna find out what happens when a hurricane hits Dope Campbell Trailer Park.
Damn, so you're saying no survivors?
None.
All right, we got 70 people in the chat currently watching. Well, 71 now, so 71-0. I'll take it. Ooh. All right, you guys. Y'all have a good night. Shout out to Pope, 863 Seminole TV. Shout out Slim Shady and everybody else that came on. Y'all have a good night.
All right, boss. Appreciate it.
All right, man.